All right, morning team. Back again. Hopefully, the tech gods are on my side today. Spent all of yesterday afternoon reinstalling Ninja for the second time in what must be 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully, we've fixed some of these bugs that I managed to pick up somehow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Haven't tested it out yet, but let's see. So as always, we're going to start off in the higher time frame charts and go from there. So starting off on the weekly, let's get into it straight away. Lots to cover today. Weekly chart doesn't look too pretty, does it? Doesn't look too pretty. Where did we drive up towards? Didn't quite make it. 685. This was the goal that I wanted to see ideally tested. Low-hanging fruit was to fill this old gap. We wanted to come into this imbalance and ideally all the way up. And yesterday, well, we got as far as we could overnight and we got slammed. All right, so this potentially setting a lower high on the weekly. That's how we need to think about this so far. If we close like this, just zoom out here for a little bit. All right, then we've got a drift down, a pushback, a lower high for a potential continuation lower. If we think about that lower high level from this failure point, right into the flag zone. Those of you who've done the course, very, very probable flag zone into the 038. All right, so looking like a potential breakdown. If we move that into a daily now, daily doing the same thing. All right, rotation off lower Bollinger, peaked over 20-day, 5-day, which are starting to cross, but I expect a bit of liquidity to be built here first before one of these moves. More probable is this right now because we're in downside momentum, but we have to respect the structure that we built out for the last, 2 weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 trading days. So what have we left here? Well, we've still got a partial gap to fill. We're very close to filling it. I would have loved it to continue filling this yesterday. It's what we were looking for, trade down into 20,000 and below. It did that move in Asia, but it didn't quite fill it all. All right, so it has a chance to fill the remainder of this gap if it wants. All right, so be watching a trade to see a reaction into, let's just call it 19,950 today. Bulls will need to step in here. All right, make no qualms about it. This is their level. They have to step in at 1950 to allow that rotation up. Now, if they do that, all right, if they do that and somehow they manage to start rebuilding structure, all right, it is possible. This is unlikely, but it's possible that we have this move here set up for next week, all right, because this here would produce a higher low, all right? Here's your low. Here's a potentially higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, that kind of scenario, okay? This is key. Failure to hold that puts us back into what? This old range. Who gets scared then? Well, we've got a double bottom here and guys down here. All right, so failure underneath, into this, rejection, continuation, we trade down towards 600. Failure under 600, we're going to go for new yearly lows and the Bollinger Band. All right, so this level here into 950 becomes key. Now, the short location today is not ideal. All right, if you decide for some reason you're going to go for that long, all right, if you think, yeah, there's some excess down here and I'm going for that long, you want to be careful up into this level here, 280-300. All right, that was pain point yesterday for bulls because that's where we liquidated them. All right, if their stop was here, that's where we liquidated them for that move down. We can get a bit more granular in this as we move over to the hourly. So let's have a look at the hourly right now. Zoom into this. Okie doke. So as a reminder, here is the high from Tuesday. Fail breakout Wednesday. Rotation. Here's the pain point I'm talking about. This is where the bulls got trapped. Everyone up here is currently a trapped buyer. Due to that, we liquidate them. We liquidate them and we sell heavy down to the gap, down to what? Old RBS. Right. This zone here is key. This zone into the gap. Key. If bulls are going to step up, now is their time. They cannot wait any longer. They need to be stepping up right here, right now, because if they don't, we come into the range. And if we come into that range, right, if we start breaking down here and we come down into here, all these guys start getting in max pain. And even if we pop up there, we expect a rejection, for lower prices, right? Hopefully that makes sense on an hourly. I'm short biased today, but is my location great? Not really, is it? The momentum's fantastic, all right? If we think about this hourly, it's a fantastic momentum, drive back up, bear flag down. It's looking really good in terms of momentum, but location, resistance, resistance, resistance can become support with a gap fill area here. Lots of reasons that they might want to hold this area. So what would I ideally like to see? Ideally, I'd like a drive higher. Now, I might be asking for too much, but a break of sort of 140, 150 here liquidates all the shorts which are currently in here right now. If we liquidate them, right, we might cause this little squeeze up. Now, then I'm looking for this area here, this hourly imbalance. I'm thinking about the anchored VWAP. I'm definitely thinking about this area here of 300 to see if we can get some form of rejection and back down, and then we can use that liquidity to rotate lower. That's what I'd like. Is it going to give it? It feels very unlikely right now that it's going to give that option to me because we're so weak. It feels like everyone is very, very scared in this market given the tariff news that came out yesterday. All right, so if I can't get a drive up, some trap over here, or drive into back test to get short into, I'm going to have to play the short under here. Now, I don't want to short into the gap, ideally. So that means I'm going to have to wait for a breakdown and a retest to stay heavy. Now, it might be retesting this level here. It might be retesting the edge of the gap. Once I can see confirmation that sellers come in, I can play that continuation leg. Why don't I want to get short right here, right now, even though that this is a flag? All right, because there's a very strong possibility equally that it can just do this, all right, and then come back up and then do that move. So I'm going to have to be a little patient here. Unfortunately, momentum's great. Location's not great this morning, right? Who had good momentum? Probably, and location, Asia. Look at Asia. We liquidate these highs, right? Drifting up off the gap, the grey box, liquidate some of these highs, and they turn around and they dunk back down. Now we've got a double bottom down here, so we've got liquidity down here we can aim for, and we've got these tops up here. We've got liquidity up here we can aim for, and this is rotation. Right? This is why I need to see these guys abused, all these guys abused, all these guys abused, and it does both. Right, so we have to think we're boxed in here. You can see it. We're boxed in and we've left sort of relative equal lows and relative equal highs, both sides. So shorts have their stops here. Bulls currently have their stops down here. We're just going to have to be a little bit patient, unfortunately, this morning. And if it's in a hurry to go, it's in a hurry to go. That's just how it is some days, ladies and gents. We cannot force our way into the market. Moving into the lower time frame, you can see big old sell. Why am I looking for these backtest areas if we can get above, right? This is the Asia-London high and a bit of liquidity built yesterday. So if we can backtest that, this IB low yesterday and around there becomes key. But more importantly, this level here that we backtested, 300s, 310s, right? This was our old pivot low on a daily. You can see right here, this was support, became resistance. We failed off that. So I'd love a backtest somewhere up there. It might not give it. It really might not give it. If we're going to go from the highs, oh, wrong one. Where's my fib? There we go. If we're going to go from the highs all the way down, let me stretch this down a little bit. Okay, we're currently protecting protecting these levels. A drive into premium would be ideal. That would be an ideal location. Like I said, I don't know. I'm fairly doubtful we're going to get it, but it would be nice. It gives us much better risk reward to be thinking about a short somewhere up here than it does down here. But we do have targets down below. All right, once we start breaking down, like I said, I really think we can potentially aim for that move all the way down into 600. All right, all the way down into 600. Gives us another 400 points on deck from this area here, but ideally we get it from up here, and then we're looking at an 800 odd point move. Obviously, we'd take partial into the low in case they hold it, and then for that run lower. What are we looking at? The VIX. All right, VIX is building out a nice big bull flag. All right, it's done a big old sort of inverted head and shoulder kind of look on a 5-minute chart. Yesterday's or Wednesday's lows being the head, we've pushed up off that level of sort of 1690s. Right, drove right up yesterday to 19, pulled back, holding 1865, building out a right shoulder and bull flag. I want to see the VIX explode upwards. 1950. We called it yesterday in the stream. We spoke about it in Discord. You had to be taking your short position off in this drive down, right? When I had my alerts at 19s, I was saying you need to start covering some of your short position here. So we'd like to see VIX drive up towards 1910, break of that 1930, break of that 1986, break of that we're into 20s, and then, you know, market is in complete meltdown mode if we get up there. Let's have a quick look at the ETF, shall we? Let's just bring this over here so I don't have to change all the charts. No, that doesn't want to play. Okay. We'll do it here then. Move this to a 5-minute. Apple. Pretty much flat. There's yesterday's close. Finding a bid off yesterday's low. Remember, I've been saying for ages, 220 has been a big level for months and months and months now. Remains a big level, previous day low. Remains at that 220. If you go back over the last few months, it's been a huge, huge level. Probably more than a few months, probably 6+ months. Microsoft, pretty much flat, starting to gap down a little bit here. So they had that drive up, starting to sell into it. You can see the Qs are starting to sell already. This is the danger. I don't want them to sell this off too early while I'm doing this broadcast. Amazon, same thing. Gapping down underneath PDC, coming into PDL right now. Google, the same thing. About to, well, already broken PDL, about to break out or break down from pre-market lows by the looks of it. Meta has already done it. All right, already started rolling over. If that is a legit wick. It looks legit, yeah. So Meta washing back down as well. Market very, very weak here. Nvidia rolling over, gapping down. And Tesla doing the same between previous day low and PDC. There we go. All right, so market's starting to roll early here. As soon as I get talking, apparently. All right, so you can see that sort of micro head and shoulders look. And they're starting to sell this now. And the first target for them will be gap fill down here. All right, 980. And if we can get weak under that, we're looking at 600s. All right, 980. If we get weak under that, we're looking at 600s. This overnight level, I'd say current weekly low, basically 20,000 flat, 20K flat. Also a very, very big level here this morning. So 20,000 flat. I should put that in the screen, shouldn't I, really, so you can see it. Let's do that now. Do that as orange because it's the overnight. I'm not really thinking about that as strong demand. Wow, very, very heavy into this. Unfortunately, not in this already. Gonna have to wait for the open now. 3 minutes away. Don't want to be short into the open and have it sort of take out 20,000 and then do a face ripper back upside. Although it seems very unlikely right now. All right, so that should have you prepared. The same kind of levels we're looking at on the Qs and the SPY. Everything's pretty much in sync. If we're going to get very, very weak today, Qs have a trade down to 473. SPY, all right, first stop for that gap fill would be 565. And then all the way down to 558 on the spiders. ES has a little bit of relative strength here, but it's coming back to that level. So let's just call it 5,730. That's the 20-day moving average. That's basically near enough overnight low. That is a level it's looking at right now. I'm going to have to put this in as well. Make sure I've got all my levels in here. You can see finding a bid off that overnight low for now. It's the third time we've come down there now into that region. All right, about 90 seconds to go. Let's see what you were all saying. Let's see what you think today. Or 3/4 of you bearish. Kind of agree with that. And let's get through the good mornings then. Good morning, Clint. Morning, Andrew. Ramus, Miguel, Jeff, Jake and Up One, TR, Logan, Marek, Thumper, Stephen W, Exister, Christy W, Coop, Jesse M, Juan Carlos, Kat, Julian, Mindful Matters, Brandon, Trentry, Arturo, Mr. Slim, Eva, Peter, Radar, where's that gone? BU, Andrus, Willa, Kaladin, Scrooge, Indicator, Alan, Louis, Andrew G, and Lyndall. Good morning, everyone. Morning, 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 morning. All right, so I'll tell you one thing I'm going to do today. I'm going to size down a little bit. All right, not because of anything else other than yesterday, those of you who joined me would have seen, got a little bit tilty with the issues I had with Ninja Trader. And what I don't want to do is have the same issue again today, all right, with any size on. So hopefully, ASD, hey mate, good morning. Jeffrey, good morning. Amalabi1, good morning. So I'm going to have to size down and praying to the ninja and tech gods that I don't have this bug, whatever it is in the system. I was on chat to Ryan at Ninja Trader yesterday and various other people trying to figure out what it is. What is going on? Here's the open then. So retesting the current low here that we just put in, letting this shake out. We should probably talk about the liquidity on the book as well. Buys here at 20,000 and then 19,075. Nothing massive. Let's just let this shake out for a minute. A little bit of a mixed bag so far on the mag. Nvidia, the weakest one, just under 2% down. Meta, 1.30% down. So here's the drive up off the lows, all right, off that overnight low. Watching previous day low here to see if they attack previous day low or if we're going to go back towards the range high. Remember the range high all the way up here, all right, in previous day close. This is a gap down, so if they want to fill the gap, they have to come up here. And if they get through this, this is the area where we had that overnight position. So far, they're attacking previous day low, rejecting previous day low fairly hard here. Let's just see what we do into flow zones. I'd love, like I said, I'd love that drift higher. Not that I'm looking for the long, but I'd love a better short location, is what I'm actually saying. So bulls so far stepping in, trying to protect. Let's get that New York open in before I forget as well, which is the bar right here. Right, so reclaiming, drifting up towards view up now. And I would love to see it over these levels all the way up into 300 would be great for a really nice short location. So up into the view up here, do they start rejecting this? This is like question number one in my mind. Are there some rejections in here? We're looking at the higher time frames at all times, remember. Where are we going in the higher time frames? We have to consider that. All right, consider this box. Don't get too drawn into the lower time frame. Dancing on that previous day low right here. If they start reclaiming, they might want to come and wash some of this liquidity up here if they can get through view up. If they keep failing this, then they're going to look for a new low and a fill of that gap, I would say, probably. Which would take us down to, I think I said it was like 80s or lower. Watching this now for a join here, small size. They're starting to reject previous day low. See if we can get a breakdown here. Lovely. Watching this current week low here into 20,000. Big level. Nice snap. Beautiful. Locking some in here. 30-point trade to start the day. Let's see if we can keep washing down towards 80s and 70s, edge of this grey box, which will be the gap fill underneath that. We're going to see if it stays heavy. We can go all the way down to 600s, but we expect them to try and bid around this gap fill area. Okay, had to join that as it started to be very, very clear that they were rejecting previous day low. ES was the signature there. Look at the VIX starting to break out of its flag, looking really, really strong here. So wanting to fade any pops right now until we take out all this liquidity. Watching ES very closely coming into its 20-day, expecting some form of reaction at some point down here. Some form of reaction at some point down here, so be careful. Don't get too short in the day. Remember, that short, I started trading that short at 34s, covering into 20,000s. Right, 40 points down, 50 points down now. Looking for more downside here for that gap fill if possible. Ideally, we get some kind of pop here before we just keep fading and fading and fading and fading. Very close for gap fill here. Pretty much filled it. Yeah, we did fill it there, really. Edge of that grey box. So anything beyond this, we would need it to flush down underneath, stay heavy. All right, and then we would think about a re-entry to go down to 600s. Remember, it can't find bids here on the gap fill like we talked about. It is welcome to find bids here on the gap fill. We did talk about this. ES right into its 20-day. Don't want to get short in the hole down here. Give the short opportunity down to this level. Now we're waiting to see. Is the back test of the overnight low, the orange box. The question is that gap fill enough and they're going to go right back for the upside, or are we thinking today we're coming right down towards here? Are we thinking we're just going to get weak and come right back down? Tesla with a decent hold here this morning. It's the strongest one in the market, 1.30% up. Everything else red. Looking good here. See if we can get that reaction off that Asia-London low for a continuation. We'd like flow zones to speed up and join, and we can go for a 1 minute here so you can see it. Sorry. Probably a bit better. All right, looking for this breakdown. Can we keep washing here? Or a bear flag? I want to be very, very careful. So I'm small size left off that original position. Didn't re-add on that move into Asia. So far, we're looking pretty good. So there's the wick of the gap fill. Let it build out liquidity now and see if we can move lower. VIX looking really good. I want to see VIX take out previous day high. If VIX can take out previous day high here, we can get going. Lots of liquidity. Well, say lots. It's not exactly thick on the book down here. So VIX playing out. That right shoulder and flag we talked about pre-market starting to play out. You can see it very clearly on a 5 minute. All right, really, really nice from the VIX. Market remains weak here. Question is, can we get down all the way down into 600s? It's asking a lot today, but we are heavy. Keep going down, market, please. All right, new weekly lows here. Every low now is a new weekly low. Love it. Absolutely love this. Let's go, market. Looking good. Nice trade plan. Starting to plan out. All right, starting to plan out nicely here. Do not short the lows. Please, 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 please do not short the lows. You were either in this with me from that first breakdown. Maybe you added here on that pop-up back into the Asia level. Do not be short down here. Do not be surprised if it traps you and goes back up before coming back down later. All right. Do not short lows. I cannot say that enough. You're either in it or you're not. Definitely, if you're going to put a chase on, which I don't advise, definitely don't do it full size. Looking good here. Fantastic. All right, I'm just going to zoom out a little here. I'm going to look at this H1, think about any levels that we might trade into here where we might get a bump in the road. So I'd say 940 is old value area highs. Old next point of controls I'll be looking at is into 900s, 850s, 900s. And if we stay weak, then I'm looking for these wicks down here. All right, I'm looking for these swing buyers. Imagine you're a swing buyer here. I'm looking for these guys to get liquidated. That's the pain point. I'm always looking for max pain. Hopefully lots of you are making money here. This is fantastic. Drifting down. So unfortunate we didn't get that drive higher at the open, but once it rejected previous day low, I had to get involved in that. It was very, very clear. ES is very clean on that previous day low versus flow zones. Looking good here, folks. All right, so I would be taking a partial here if you haven't already, and then you're holding runners. Move your stop in the money. You know, we are considerably up now from our entry, almost 100 points up, 80 points up. So make sure you're paying yourself some money, please. Back into normal flow state. You can see it clearly. I must have had a bug on my system because that was smooth as you like. No issues whatsoever. Moved my stop down, moved my limit orders, no issues. There must have been a bug on my system. So how unfortunate. How unfortunate yesterday to have that. Probably I worked it out at the end of the day. You do not want to know how much money that cost me. Enough to buy a very nice new car. Would have been probably a record day for me yesterday. You look at that first short position I took yesterday at about just before 10 o'clock or just after 10 o'clock. Hit every single target price that we talked about, so we'd have got every single price. Hard to take. But hey, like I said to the guys in Discord, it's just a trade. It's just one day. It won't define you. You come back the next day, you do the same thing, and we've already locked in big time profit today. All right, so we're still staying bearish here. We're not looking to buy any of this right now. The spiders are coming into their gap fill. All right, SPY is coming into its gap fill. 65 is the gap fill on the SPY. So just got one eye on that in case the market, if the market makers are thinking, hey, we're going to fill the spiders and then turn around, I want to be aware of that, all right? But we've already done that move on the NQs. The grey box was that move on the NQs. But spiders are coming into it. They're just coming into it now. Just be aware of that. Make sure you're taking some profits. New low day here, new low week. Looking good here, folks. Look at the VIX. Absolutely perfect. 1920 now. We're looking for that drive up to 1930, 1950. Through that, if we start breaking out of 1990-20, like, say goodbye, stock market, all right? This market will get absolutely wrecked. Now, one thing I would say, I think we've got news at 10 o'clock. It's not red folder. I think it's home sales from what I remember. Not red folder, but just be aware of that, please. Spider's getting a reaction out of this gap fill here. All right, like I said, gap fill was to about 65, 565. If you want to be precise, 565.10. We traded down into 565.29, and it's finding a little bit of a pop here. All right, so make sure you've paid yourself some money. You would be absolutely fuming if this suddenly turns around a little bit. Not suggesting it does do that, but you'd be very upset with yourself if you're not paying yourself some money. We're under the 20-day now on the ES as well. All right, so mean reversion complete, rejection continuation lower, everything looking good for lower prices here. Bang, continues lower. So everything failing right now. Market's heavy other than Tesla. Amazing that Tesla isn't rolling over here. Great strength. Don't worry, Phenom, there will be more setting up. More setting up today, do not worry. Right, please make sure you're paying yourself. Spider's getting very close here. 565.20, 565.18. All right, it's coming into that complete gap fill here. We're looking for it to move into 565. Make sure you're paying yourself. All right, this is a 100-point banger, basically. Once we get into 30s, it'll be 100 points for me. We're almost there. My first execution was around 37. No, it wasn't. It was 34s. I'm lying. Almost there. Give me that. Give me that 100-pointer to start the day. Be very careful here. If they start running it back through 65s and 70s, there's the fill. So we came down to, what did I say, 10? We came down to 565.05. So spies have filled. The spiders have filled that gap. All right, so you're seeing a reaction off that now. Spiders have filled that gap. We are trading back down into that old value area high that I just talked about as well. 44s. 44s on the hourly. You can see it on the hourly. Do not get short in the hole down here. All right, do not chase this. Definitely don't be picking bottoms either. This is very, very bearish. All right, we're breaking down back into an old range. Bulls have lost all momentum in this market right now. You do not want to be trying to pick a bottom. Look at the flow zones. Look at what you're seeing here. Bearish, multi-time frame bearish. That push up this morning, sold into up here. That was previous day low as well on the ES. And we're selling. All right. Bearish, bearish. This structure, not very nice. So expect it to return in before maybe a retest of the low. Right, why don't we like this structure down here? What's that signature? Right. We like structure built this way for bearish continuation. We don't like structure built this way because we have too many stops in and they go and take them out. That's what you're starting to see. There you go. That's why you don't get short in a hole. Exister, one and done. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I want to see lots of W's in chat, hopefully. We had to be a bit quick today, unfortunately. But it's just how it is. Once we saw that rejection of previous day low, we didn't have much choice but to get involved because it was never going to come up and drive higher like we wanted. Like I said, I wanted it to drive higher, but I kept saying pre-market, I find it very unlikely that it's going to do that. So this is continuing now to build that liquidity. So still stuck at flow zones, watching the edge of that gap. The one thing we've got to think about is the spiders here today. All right, spiders. Lots of you with some nice winners. Love it, love it, love it, love it, team. All right, so you want to see this drive back down underneath 60s, really, if you're holding that running. If it can't do it, then squeeze potential back upside like we're starting to see here, back towards flow zone. So this kind of play here, you have to be careful of this. You want to be careful if they rebuild structure here and want to go all the way back up. Because we've taken a lot of low-hanging fruits out in that drive down this morning. See, and you can see shorts got stuck in the hole down here. Let's do a anchor. What was the open? This one. Starting to reclaim that anchor a little bit. Not reclaiming it on the ES yet, though. Stuck at flow zones, stuck at that sort of liquidity we built on that leg down. If it gets relief over that, there's a bigger squeeze on here. I'm not saying to join it long. I'm just saying, like, shorts definitely got stuck down there. Momentum's still downside. It's just a battle between lower time frame and higher time frame right now. Like, can they do one more leg down, or does it need bigger relief right now? Tesla very strong here, almost 2% up. Incredible. Incredible from Tesla to be doing that. So back testing that Asia London low, probably that 20,000 level. Let's see if they reject that. ES back to its 20-day moving average. We didn't quite sweep the highs there, and we've left a double top up there into 20,008. But thinking this will move lower, maybe once it's swept some liquidity. Let's see what we do here. Can we get a breakdown or not? Back towards VWAP, that New York VWAP, that red line. Probably should change that to blue. Here we go. Here's the selling continuation starting now. So retested that 20,000 level. This will be the battle here now. Like, do they hold this or do they let go of it? That's the battle now for this part of the session. Hopefully that makes sense. Coming back down. There's not much liquidity down here. ES is trying to find a bid. Desperate to find a bid here on the ES. Coffee's hot. Wow. All right, let's see now. Here's the battle. If they start letting go, we make new lows. If they keep holding sort of the 60s, 60s really, then there's a possible RBS there on a lower time frame. But higher time frame is telling me lower prices. Higher time frame is telling me lower prices. It's just we're running out of targets. That's the bigger problem here. So here's the RBS test. Do they soak this or do they let go of it? Like we said, if they soak against this, this can set up. It's not bullish yet because you're still negative against everything, but that's the squeeze potential. Otherwise, we're thinking rotation lower. That's what we're thinking here. How long we got? 10 minutes until a new hourly and 4-hour candle. So we want to think about that as well. Remember, we've filled the gap across all indexes. So sort of low-hanging fruit, stage one is gone. I can't draw on this hourly chart. What's going on? Here we go. So far, holding that RBS, isn't it? This level here, like we said. All right, then we should pivot up. If it holds this, it's going to try and drive higher. Market's still weak, though, but it's trying to find a bid. Tesla gave a % back already. Jesus. That was... indecision there from Tesla. Let's see if the spiders come up towards their VWAP here, which is what they look like they want to do. 566.45-ish on the spiders. We let go of our VWAP already on here. What's gone on here? There we go. That's the wrong bar. So our New York VWAP. All right, so that RBS held. There you go. And there's the squeeze potential that we talked about. That's why you can't get short in a hole. So there's the squeeze potential all the way back up towards New York Open now. Previous day low would be key. All right, remember, if we reclaim previous day low up here, if we reclaim this, what does this mean? This is excess. If shorts get stuck down here and they get forced to cover, we drift higher. All right, so these levels up here are going to be key. So short-term momentum starting to move into bullish. Higher time frames still, this is a very, very bearish move. All right, but short-term feels like shorts got stuck at the bottoms. When I say spiders, what do I mean? The S&P, the SPY, it's the spiders. You look at the little symbol for the SPY, it's literally a little spider. Okay, so back towards previous day low. Back towards the VWAP, main VWAP. So ES at previous day low. Spiders have reclaimed VWAP and at previous day low. ES not quite at its VWAP. NQ not quite at its VWAP, drifting up towards that. We have 9 minutes left until we get a new hourly candle. You want to be very, very cautious. Current point of control in this session is at 66. Of the overnight session, I'm going to have to move this. On yesterday's session is at 93s. Right, point control up here. Lots of volume at 66 here and here. Big volume up here. Make sure I'm on the right chart for you all. All right, so we got that first trade. We're waiting now. Let's see who got that first trade in chat. I haven't even looked. Sorry about that, team. Let's see who got that first trade. Peter Curry, Andrew H, Mr. Slim, Kaladin, Exister, one and done. Woot woot. Clink got it. Thumper got it. Alan Bailey got it. Jesse got it. Jeff got it. BU got it. Andrus got it. Love it, guys. Willa got it. Andrew G got it. Let's go. Let's go, team. Isn't it nice when you're done in the first 10 minutes? Like if you took just even a half decent position there, you got, and even if you didn't get it all, you got 50, 60, 70, 80 points out of that easily. And that's all you need to do. Just join. Just join. Once the momentum's there, once there's a clear rejection of a level, once you know one side is trapped, you join. You make sure you pay yourself, because this is what happens if you don't. All right, so ES back to previous day low. It is a massive level, this previous day low on the ES. It keeps tapping into it. All right, the question here is, are they going to sell versus this now? We're thinking about that new H1 bar that's coming as well. Have to be aware of the new H1, H4 bar. Christy W, passed one account, miserably failed another. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you got one pass, though. Nothing worse than waiting for a payout from Apex. Yeah, I'm due on a bunch of my accounts right now. Back over the threshold on them after taking the last payout. So I've got 8.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 6.5. Looking good. Probably wait till next week though. All as well. I've got a few going. Those were just evals. Yeah. One thing I didn't say, and I got this wrong yesterday, folks. If you didn't know, Traderify, they just changed their sale. It's now 35% off all accounts. Every single account they offer, straight to funded, growth, and advanced of any size, it's 35% off. That ends end of the month. All right. I did forget that yesterday. They changed it. So an extra 5% off in case you're interested. So here we go. It's the drift back up here. Shorts, I would say intraday shorts currently stuck in this market. We just have to see when the higher time frames come back in. We've got this new hourly bar coming in 6 minutes time. All right, 6 minutes time. We're back into this grey box, back into the gap. Here's the squeeze back upside. So bulls defended aggressively on the spiders, right? When we got down here, this was the gap fill on the SPY, and the bulls defended it. Like we said, that was the last chance for them. They had to defend that level, and it was the spiders. Sorry, it was the spiders that they defended. Hiccups here this morning. So SPY back to its VWAP. ES through its VWAP. Everything through its VWAP right now. NQ through its VWAP, coming back up to and through the New York Open, coming back towards these highs now. Now, these are the old point of controls. What are we looking at now? Right, there's lots of liquidity built out here. If it does that, where can it raid? Lots of stops in here, up in this orange box, right? We know there's lots of stops up there. Let's zoom out so you can see it. Lots of stops up here. You could probably do a trend line here as well if you wanted. All right, you want to be careful of these stops. These guys get liquidated, we can run higher. It's this point that I really like the short. Anywhere up here, this looks very juicy. Well, we're going to watch this now to see how we react into these old levels up here. Think about that Asia-London high. We liquidated Globex low. We can go up and liquidate Globex high if it really wants to. Look at that reaction of previous day point of control so far. We said there's a lot of volume up here. Lots and lots and lots of volume up here. You can see it on the point of control. You can see it from yesterday, how we built out structure yesterday. I have to watch this now. Previous day close, right? If it's going to go for gap fill, it's got to get up into here. 18s. Here's your new hour and 4 hour bar. We're above all VWAPs now, all right? I'm not thinking short right now. I'm going to let this shake out. I still like the higher time frame short, but I'm going to let this shake out. Biggest problem with the short is what we hit most of our targets. The only thing we can think about going back for is 600. That's way, way lower. Everything else we went and took already. All right, so this is gap fill into 17s, 15s, sorry. What is it? 16s. Somewhere around there is gap fill. Above that, you've got the Globex high. That's what it's in a rush to drift towards right now. So we caused max pain for bulls. Now we're going max pain for shorts. And once we finish doing max pain, it probably goes back into a sell. Market trying to turn bullish, though. Apple finding a bid, gone green on the day. Amazon finding a bid, gone green on the day. Tesla back up to 2.65% up on the day. Yeah, this market's looking for gap fill right now. Mr. Slim passed another eval on that pump. Nice. He flipped long. I love it. I love it. We said if it held that RBS, shorts get stuck down here. Look how quickly it changed. Here's your move. There's the hold. There's your flag. Flag. That's why we don't think short. Once it holds this, you're like, you don't want to be adding into these short once it does that, right? Let it fail now. If you're going to look for the short, it either does this, or even here. And then you've got some form of liquidity looking left to use to get back down to low of day if you really want to stick with the short thesis. But right now we're in lower time frame bullish momentum, aren't we? Look at your M15. Big drive up. The M15 breaking out of the opening range. Right, remember the first 15 minutes probably like here to it's 45 to here. All right, that's your opening range. If we base above this, the opening range says we go higher. If we trade back inside this, we use it to go lower. All right, so back to sort of high of day, 20,000 check and around there. 20,100 check and around there. There's a seller at 20,100, and then there's more selling up at 20,150, which would take us to the top side of Globex. All right, the top side of Globex. This 4 hour candle, very, very large in this drive up. Remember, only got under 90 seconds left of it. Think about this 4 hour candle. All right, filled this gap. Came back to this level here. Remember we said old value area high. founder bid driving up to point of control. All right, if they flip this 4 hour, it's going to have to, the new 4 hour would have to go and liquidate all these guys here. Remember, short, 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 short. And then we think about a short up here. All right. If there is mega bullish momentum, I find this very unlikely, but I'm going to say it just in case. If there is mega bullish momentum and we build liquidity up here today or tomorrow, and we can continue upside, this can still be a higher low. If you're joining late, we went over it pre-market. Why did you need to be careful with the shorts today? This is an old RBS, all right? If this is a breakout and this is a pullback and this holds, if it comes up here and builds and goes higher, this confirms as our higher low on a daily / 4 hour / hourly time frame to drift higher. And then once we go higher, then we're thinking about the weekly lower high to come back down. All right, so you've got time frames fighting each other is the best way of me saying that. All right, you've got a battle right now to see who puts in the lower high and who puts in the higher low first. Do you get a 4 hour higher low or do you get a weekly lower high? If it sounds like gobbledygook, just do the course. Do the course. It will all start to make sense to you. So gap fill here up into 15s is what it's looking for. ES coming right up to that gap fill right here, right now, tapping on it. All right, so 79.50 is your gap fill on the ES. It's almost there. SPY already done the gap fill. QQQ running a little behind. NQ running a little bit behind. Once we get through that, we probably go back and test the 5-day, 20-day on the markets. Remember, the 5-day, 20 days are starting to sort of get stuck together. I did say at the beginning, I wouldn't be surprised if we built out more liquidity around them. It's very common once we get there, we build out some liquidity around them for a day or two. All right, so it looks like it's going for this gap fill, this flag starting to play out in a buy now. Low zone starting to support. It will want this, and then if it liquidates this, this takes out all the previous hour highs, and then either we rotate or we squeeze up and then rotate. If I'm talking fast, I'm sorry. Market's moving fast this morning. It's doing lots of things. So I've got to be nimble, understand what the market's trying to do. Right, starting to try and liquidate people here into 104s or 105s. Through that, we go for the next set of stops, which are pretty much at 140s. If we get through that, we go through the next set of stops into 145s. The hourly candle here just hanging out at the current point of control. All right, gap fill potential above. ES closed its gap. All right, so ES closed its gap. SPY is through its gap. QQQ not at its gap. And look at the VIX, rejected 1930. We said that was a big level. Traded right into 1929 and rejected, coming back down into the bottom of its flag right now. So if the VIX starts breaking down underneath its flag, if VIX lets go of PDC, 1831 and trades back down to 1780, obviously the market gets more relief. All right. If the VIX reclaims this and goes back upside again, and that was just a big old trap, then the market dumps more. Probably should have flipped long myself and then started exiting here, but I always struggle to play these first ones here. Probably should have thought about playing that though. That's nice and clean from this point. So upside, you can see we're building upside momentum. Look at these big engulfing candles, right? We don't want to be short when we're printing big engulfing candles. This is in a hurry to get to here and probably up to here. And this is our anchored view up off the high yesterday when we started selling. Right, so this is basically shorts. This is the average price of swing shorts who started shorting yesterday. So I'm looking to see how we react into there. If we get through it, these are our levels of supply. All right, the main one being 280-300. Remember, that's a big daily, weekly kind of level up here, high time frame level, right? Because we failed it there, and it's where buyers got stuck here. So from Tuesday, it's a big, big level from this week. Can someone explain to me? There's 120 of you watching. I've given you the shorts. I've told you when people are going to get trapped and probably going long. I've given you the reasons why it's going to happen and how it's going to happen. And 51 of you have hit the like button. Man, don't even ask for any money and can't even get some likes in this stream. What's going on, team? What is going on? Free money. Yeah, quite right, Mr. Slim. I'm giving you free money here. Can't get a like. Help a brother out. There we go. Look at that. Straight up to 81. It's about time. I need a love button. All right, be careful here. It's starting to build out liquidity here. It's getting a little stuck. One thing I would say is that ES did fill its gap already. We almost got there, all right, up to 17s, but ES filled its gap already. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I tell you what, my wife has made this coffee seriously strong today. It's like rocket fuel. Absolute rocket fuel. Probably a bit too powerful first thing in the morning. You can hear my stomach trying to deal with it. Oof. Too much. Too much. All right, let's see if we get to PDC here. I want to be careful they build out a micro head and shoulder here. Be very, very careful. Remember, the higher time frame, technically, well, I say that. Technically, we're in a sell since yesterday. Yeah, so any push higher effectively can be a rebalance. But this is where it gets tricky because, like we said, this can be defended. And you can see we've moved away, moved away, moved away, moved away. This is lower than the gap, but this part here, this is the SPY gap fill. So imagine this grey box all the way down to here. That's what we did for the SPY. That's why I look at numerous things at once, because we don't always align perfectly, but the SPY found a bid right on that level. All right, if you look at the gap on the SPY, look at Friday, where did we find a bid? That's exactly where we found it. So it's really important that you learn to look at multiple screens. All right, even if you only get one extra monitor, all right, just do yourself a favor. Look at have that extra monitor on like the SPY and the QQQ, and maybe the VIX if you've got room. It will make things easier for you. If you think, why did we react there? We haven't come to a level. We've gone past the level. Why did we react there? There's always a reason why we react somewhere. It's just that you haven't seen it. All right, so be very careful here. If you've been long, look how it's building out. Look at this. All right, remember, this is the target, but ES already took that target. All right, so you want this to continue higher, but be careful if they start letting go. They can always do this move to get back up. But I expect shorts might come back in at some point today. And the question is, how high do we go first? But we're in a buy. Look, you can see it. We're in a buy. How many of you, all right, so my coder messaged me last night. Finally, the flow zones are almost ready for NinjaTrader. I'm going to have to test them, make sure they run perfectly. And I'm having it coded so it works as an algo on NinjaTrader. So this would buy for you and sell some here. And this would sell for you and buy some back here. How many of you would be interested in that algo? I think I will do it as a sub, because it's probably invaluable and it's costing me quite a lot of money to make. Yeah. I'm going to have to think about how I price it, because I don't like pricing people out of the market. As you know, it's the last thing I like to do. So liquidating these guys here, like we talked about, you have to be very careful. Back to flow zones, these guys get liquidated. Now, it either does this and goes upside, right? It's either a liquidation to go upside. If it starts letting go of this, be very, very careful. You do not want to be thinking about longs down here, in my opinion. All right, because then we've got buyers trapped. We come back down under. We use the liquidity. We're underneath New York Open, and we go lower. So both sides here are possible. We're still in initial balance territory, right? You've still got 20 minutes left. There's your IB for the day. Be very, very careful. If we start letting go of VWAP and chopping down here, be very, very careful. Remember, because ES did this move. ES filled this gap already. So that's the divergence that you're playing out with right now. Brad D, only on Ninja. I can't, I don't think I can. That's not true. Let me think about that. I guess I could make a system to work on, try and work on TradingView with it. Yeah, totally capped. Totally get it. All right, so here's the drift down. If this starts melting, you want to be careful here. All right, ES back to VWAP. So does this find a bid here? QQQ under VWAP right now. This green line is key. This is your New York VWAP. So either they trap to go higher here. If they absorb this, they trap to go higher. If they start selling this aggressively down and you get back down underneath New York Open and stuff, then I think my bias goes back down towards the lows, right? If we get stuck back under here, my bias would be that we're going to move down. But otherwise, this can still trap, right? We talk about this signature every day, don't we? When we build liquidity the wrong way around, we dunk, we return in, and then we can go higher. Yeah, so these are the two plays setting up right now. The problem with this move lower, thinking lower, is we've done the main move. The only thing left is all the way down here. Doesn't mean it can't do it. That might seem like a big move, that 400 points, but we've seen it many, many times in this market, yesterday being a prime example. Low-hanging fruit for us right now is up here if it wants to go higher. But again, ES did that move already, so it's making it a little tricky with the divergence. I'm watching the VIX as well here. Let me just zoom in here. Chart probably not zoomed in enough. Let's have a look. Yeah, still basing out here in the VIX, still holding 1850s. Market very, very heavy here. Everything gone red other than Tesla and Amazon. Starting to break down a little bit here, isn't it? Maybe this is going to wash back down towards the lows. ES approaching its VWAP. This is what I'm saying. Got to be very, very careful. This starts to break down here underneath the New York levels. The New York Opens I'm talking about. I don't mind joining this if it's going to prove itself to be heavy and go back towards the low. There's New York. ES into VWAP right here, right now. SPY's a little bit left to go. I'm in small size just in case for that breakdown underneath. Very, very small size, just under here. It's not proven anything yet. And my stop's already break even because it's not proven anything. But if it starts building this out, I'll get back in. I'll probably get stopped out there. There's break even there. That's fine. I just wanted to get in case they wanted to be really nasty with it. Protective straight away. So finding a bid off that New York. All right, finding a bid off New York. ES finding a bid off VWAP. And let this dance around for a little bit. What are you all saying in chat? Yeah, lots of you interested in... I'm guessing you're talking about the algo more than the indicator and NinjaTrader. Windows for life, baby. Yeah. I mean, if you're trading really, when you get serious about trading, at some point you're probably going to have to get a computer with Windows on. I mean, it is possible you can trade, you know, with Trader 8, it's fine. You can use, you know, not having desktop applications. You can trade on web-based browsers. But I think it just, once you get into sort of multiple screen territories and stuff, this gets better. Yeah, you can put Windows on Mac. That's what I used to do, use parallels, but it gets a little bit juicy. But yeah, any of you interested in do that, you can use a product called Parallels. But really, I mean, if you're just trading futures, TradingView and Trader8 will do it for you, or you can use X on some of the platforms. I don't love X. I'm going to be honest. I know lots of people like it. I don't. So here's the trap. This is what they're going to try and do now. If they reclaim this, we go higher. If they reject this, this is the bear flag. So it's decision point right here into 70. This is decision point for the market. This is decision point for the market. Trying to find a bid here again in the market. It's trying to drift higher here now. What is the move up to PDC? Still there. Sixteens. If it builds this right shoulder and liquidity, it goes 16s. If it rejects here, it's a problem. Well, we're looking good here, team. Calling it well. It's just which one it sets up for first. I want to let it build that liquidity out. That dip, I probably should have got long in that dip rather than thinking about that flush. VIX starting to melt back down now. Where is upside? Looking at these candles. It wants that breakout here. Can it build out liquidity to go back upside here? That's the question. ES back to previous day close here. We're not quite there yet on the NQ like we talked about. 16s, we keep saying 16s if it's going to go. I want to be careful here. It's a bit of a sort of flutter here as ES knocks into PDC again. How long we got until initial balance? 15 minutes until the initial balance is set as well. Watching this, if we're going to go long here, if it's going to really get going, it will need that breakout of the 100s. And then that will take it right up to 16. And then we can think about overnight or Globex high, whatever you want to call it. If it keeps getting stuck here, you want to see it build liquidity sideways. You don't want it to see it get slammed into. No real bids on the tape until 20K, which is quite far down. It's very, very thin up here. It's trying to get going. It's trying to build that liquidity. Every little pop-up's being sold into right now in front of 100. ES through PDC here. So relative strength in the ES right now. Come on, market. What are you doing? You're going to build that out and go or what? We left an imbalance here. You want to see this kind of move up into here. You'll be very, very careful because of the divergence. Remember, ES has already done this move now twice. It's done this move and cleaned this out twice. If this doesn't hold this, it can't get up there. Look at the previous day point of control. It's holding price, right? This is volume from yesterday, volume from yesterday, volume from yesterday. We're tapping against it. Cannot get relief above it right now. So can they build this shoulder out or do they just let this whole thing go? Again, divergence is against ES right now. So one thing you need to be aware of, there is divergence against the ES. There's potential here to build out that inverse micro head and shoulder on the NQ, but you would need ES to participate. It's already done the move. Right at point of control. Last 2 days, well, overnight volume, today's volume, yesterday's volume. It's all here. This is a very heavily congested and battled zone, let's say. Holding that imbalance here so far. Holding flow zones. You want to see this do this right now. Anywhere into or anywhere under here, I'd be very, very cautious, especially if ES starts to fail. I'm just going to let this build out here. Draw of liquidity right now is here and here. This is where it wants to go if it's got the strength to do it. But like we said, big volume area right here, this orange. Big volume area. They keep banging on it. Staying patient for an IB. Yeah, 13 minutes left until that initial balance. Those of you who are waiting for that. Not long left. It's kind of ugly on like a 5-minute chart to see that we've left those stops at 105s. Yeah, we've left those stops. You would think that we'd run those stops. But I mean, if we think about what NQ's done the last few weeks, how many times has it left a bunch of stops only to come back for them like 2 days later? It's trying to build out that liquidity here. You can see it. It's trying to build out that shoulder. It's desperate to try and do that kind of move. Here it goes. Can it do it? Trying, isn't it? This is what it's trying for. The moment it comes under here, it will be problematic. This is where it's failure zone. So you're in scalp mode only. If you took this long, you really need this to go for you. Do not move your stop down here hoping. Do not do that if you're thinking about this long, looking for this move. I'm not in anything right now. I'm watching the ES just keep banging against PDC. It's had 1, 2, 3 wicks through it on a 2-minute chart. And it's up there again. It really wants to try and squeeze through it. That's what the ES is trying to do. And it's looking to go and take out 770. 773, if it can get going, that's what it's looking to take out. I guess the first level would be 61s. Has it already done that? Yeah, traded in 61. So 770, 773, that's what ES is looking to do. Initial balance in 10 minutes. Julian, past my apex punishment static today. Pre-market. Dropping my like and dipping boss man. Ah, nice, Julian. Take care, buddy. Glad you passed. Here we go. There goes ES. Cleanly through now. Cleanly through now on the ES. So it's starting to get going. Is this market going to join in? Is the NQ going to join in for that move to PDC? The yellow line on your chart there. PDC, or on the screen, I should say. And then through that Globex. Globex would be 150. Would be a push to 150. Relative weakness here in the Qs. It's not clearing out when it should. You want to see this get going here. You want to be very cautious if this doesn't do it. You do not want to get trapped in this if ES is going to do it and the Qs don't, which is what's starting to shape up here. Look at that. Pull back again. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So dip, like a push over it on the ES and a failure, an instant failure. Back to flow zones. Past trader 550K today. Lovely. Great work. Still building out liquidity here. It should have gone then. It had the chance to go then and it didn't. That would concern me as a buyer. If I was a buyer, that would really, really concern me. It had the chance to do the move and it didn't do it. NQ back to view up here. Lots of stops being left up there without raiding them. Like lots of internal stops. Think about how many times we've come back up towards that top side of the market right now and not got through. Has got a shot to go higher here today if it wants to do it. S&T, yeah, exactly. Divergence, S&T, same thing. Same thing. Versus previous day close, same thing. If they catch a bid, they can go, you know, if they can get through PDC, they can go for that orange box, that Asia, London high, Globex high, but all those H1s up there and that anchored view up that we'd had off the sell. Lots of reasons to come up here, but so far it just can't find the juice. Yeah, maybe it goes low. I think it's a little early here, like, to make that call. Structurally, we're not there yet. So far, absorbing VWAP, absorbing flow zones. Lots of stops up there. Do not get chopped up in this. Just let it make its decision. You've got initial balance in 7 minutes now. Not long to wait, right? If we're going to go rotational. I am amazed by Tesla's strength right now. Considering how weak that has been. It's impressive. Finding a bid off VWAP here, or trying to find a bid off VWAP here. Remember, the New York VWAP is down here, so buyers are in control in this session right now. In this session, buyers are in control. Shorts are stuck down here. Buyers are in control. Low-hanging fruit, if it's going to get there, is up here, but it keeps failing to get it. NQ has already, ES has already done that move. ES has already done that move. VIX trying to find a bit of a bid here in front of PDC. We're right on top of that gap right now, that grey box. Top of that gap is that grey box. No setup for me here yet. Would have liked to have seen this push, to be honest. Would have liked to have seen this push and go higher. It makes sense for it to go and clean all that liquidity out. The big problem is that you've got divergence where the ES has already done it. Tesla now 2.29% up. Amazon, 1/3% up. Everything else red on the day. Nvidia, 1.11% down. Meta, 0.37% down. Google, 0.80% down. Microsoft, almost going red to green. Not quite there yet, though. And Apple, 0.15% down. Market at a little bit of a standstill at the moment. A little bit of a standstill. All the burnt Teslas having to be replaced, yeah. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I appreciate that. Should have it soon. Nice. Yeah, I was promised it. The guy got back in touch saying he's been working really hard on it. It's like my third guy of trying now. All right, so maybe now market's going. Yes, back to PDC again. It's still trying to build out this liquidity to go higher. It wants to clean those levels out. It's just failing to clean those levels out. It really wants to get going here. That's what the market wants to do. If we get going, Globex is possible. Is possible. I'd say first target would be 116s and then through that up into 150. Can happen very, very quick if they pop one of them. And just building out a range up here. So you've got both sides trying to play this. Longs and shorts trying to play this right now. How long we got left? 4 minutes. 4 minutes till the IB. Can't get through that 20,100. It's clearly a big level at 20,100. Everything trading pretty much sideways. VIX doing the same thing right now. What's your name, body? What do you mean? What's my name? Alex. You can call me Sensei. Sensei Alex. I'm just joking. Just Alex. Let's see here. Come on, market. Make your mind up. Do something. It's boring just sitting around doing nothing. Waiting. Can't be clicking buttons here. It wants to get going. It just can't. Where did the volume go? Yeah, exactly. Just tapered right off, didn't it? It will come in if we start popping stops. It will come in. If we start popping stops, they will get run out and you will see that volume come straight into the market. But same if we start breaking down on the underside, yeah? If we start breaking lower, you'll see the volume come straight back into the market. It just cannot get through these levels. It's feels like a week or two ago. Same things we talked about with like NQ wanting to go and take a level and not quite doing it and leaving it and leaving it and leaving it. And then after, you know, sometimes it would leave it all day and come back right at the end of the day. It feels like that. Should be trying to drift higher here. Just in terms of technical terms, that's what the market should want to try and do. It should want to try and take the stops out, but it's struggling to do it. So you have to just sort of respect what's in front of you. We're holding flow zones. We've got 90 seconds left until the initial balance is printed. We would ideally like to see this drive through 115. If it pops the stops at 115, maybe there is a trade all the way up to 150s for you. Maybe. It's having one more attempt here. Look at this. Trying to go again here, isn't it? You want to see it just rip through 100. Not big selling here. I'm looking at the book. Like, you got 30 lot at 100. It's not like something that's making me think, oh my God, they're going to come and slam this. So they're trying again here. Here we go. 100 tap, 100 tap, 100 tap, 100 tap. Do we go up to that yellow line? There we go. It's done it. It took a while, didn't it? Oh, we're going 150s now. Finally went. There's your PDC. Nice if you took that. Well done if you took that. Built that liquidity. There's the trap underneath. Built that liquidity. And here, and now next stop, 150. So hold on if you're in that. Looking for 150s. Lovely trade. Took its time, didn't it? It took its time. Congratulations if you took that. So low-hanging fruit gone. You should be holding runners for 150. This anchor, this red line, is off the highs yesterday. All right, this is off the sell point yesterday. Where we started selling, where I know sellers came in, that's what I've anchored that off. We rejected it here. We're going to use that as sort of an over and under with the orange box, right? This is our over under. We get over that, we expect to squeeze higher. At some point up here, I expect that trade back down. If they reclaim this, whoa, I'm risk off because we're going all the way up on a mega squeeze. Hopefully that makes sense. We went over this pre-market. Those joining late, go back to the start of the video. We went over this. All right, so initial balance now set. PDC taken, so we've closed the gap. We've done the gap fill today. Which signal, mate? Because you went, you're deleting your messages where you said inverse fair value gap, go lower. And then you went, okay, higher. You were calling for lower when we were building liquidity to go higher. So you want to be careful calling out in chat, eh? All right, so trading into that Globex level. Still 150 on deck if it wants to get there. Previous week high is all the way up at 20,168-ish. Exactly, Mr. Slim. Exactly. Asia highs, Globex highs up here. This level up here with the anchor. Through that, all right, you have a level here. Previous week high is at 167, somewhere up here. It's an old weekly high. If you go up onto the weekly chart higher time frame. All right, but now what are we thinking? We have rotational plays available and we have trend days, right? Trend days would be here. Failed breakout would be above and back inside IB. What would that allow? Rotation down to where? VWAP. Letting go of VWAP, where do we rotate? IB low. What's IB low? Current low of day, all the way down here. All of these setting up. We do this. This sets up, yeah? We stay positive above the initial balance. Maybe we can move higher. All right, low-hanging fruit is up here. What I'd love to see, what would be a really nice trade today, is a rip through, take this out, this be the failure, back inside the initial balance, and start to trap longs up here for a rotation back down. That would be really juicy. Be a really nice trade if that sets up later. I know you're kidding, buddy. It's all good. Just be like, all I'm saying is be careful calling in chat. If you got to remember, there's a lot of people who are easily influenced in chat all the time. Right? Newer traders turn up to learn all the time. What we don't want to do is flip-flop on them and then they get upset because they've lost, because they don't understand the market changes. I understand what you were calling. I know exactly what you were calling when you were looking for that short. You were looking for this to be a flip and stay heavy versus it. And once that changed, you look for the long. I totally understand it, but not everyone in chat will understand that without the thesis. Yes, we have to be careful what we call. We have to protect and look after everyone in chat. It's a nice community here. I'm not like these other teachers. Well, they're not even teachers. YouTubers who would just scream and shout at chat and be like, I made money long. I don't care what you think. I do care what you think. I want you guys to learn and be able to trade by yourselves. All right, so liquidity on the book here. 50s. All right, there was a seller at 175. He's pulled his order. But liquidity on the book here at 50s. That's the biggest order, and it's not big size. 67s. 67s. I'm going to zoom out here so I can see the spiders where they might want to go next. Reclaiming 20-day. All right, a little bit of congestion here in the spiders. I'd say 570.20 to 571.43 through that. we retest the IB level and 200-day moving average. QQQ coming up to its 20-day. 20-day and 5-day are fairly tight. They're sort of starting to converge the last few sessions. We have a bullish day here. We're going to get the 5-day, 20-day cross, and 5 days is going to stay for upside. Nice, Jesse. Have a good day. Hope you had a good one. Hope you had a good one. Remember, on the H1, there's lots to rebalance here if we get going. All right, if we get going, all right, you have to be careful. Failure and trade inside. But if we get going in base, here's your H4. This can be repriced, can't it? This whole thing can be repriced. Where can it be repriced to? We can think about some simple things, like we can go down to here. We can think about this level here, right? On top of that, we can think about a fib. If we go from the high to the low, where might it want to reprice? All right, if it breaks out, we can get to that 50%. Maybe it drifts up into 61. All right, the 61.8 would be really nice confluence into 300 if we do that move. Really nice. But if you're in this long, you're coming into territory where you might want to start taking a little bit of profit here, right? You might want to take a bit of profit here. The same level, if you're trading ES, you're looking to take profit around 773. And that's your pivot high, and you have the 5-day there. The internal high would be 770, above that 773. So you want to make sure you're trimming some, because this is really a range. Yeah, so if we're going to go in range rotation, they might pop it through, they might not pop it through, and they might sell it back down. So we don't know what they're going to do yet. So we're going to respect this range. So if you're long, if you are long here, you must be paying yourself some money into this. Even if you're thinking about this as a measured move, this would be probably 100%. There you go, 1.6. So you must pay yourself into this. Remember, it can be a failed breakout, failed rotation. There's lots of reasons for it to fail up here. I'm not picking the short up here yet. I would like higher, but I'm just saying if you're long, pay yourself. Pay yourself along the way. Looking for one more good trade here if possible. I don't mind what it is. Break above and hold, we go long. Failed breakout, trade inside, think about that short. Look how it's building liquidity here, not very pretty. Be very careful. Watching these initial balance highs, watching these Globex levels. Can I mark up where I place when you place your order? Oh, on TradingView, yeah. I mean, I normally tell you when I'm looking. I'm telling you the prices I'm looking at. I'm normally calling it way before. So into that anchor view up. Can it trade over the overnight highs? Can it trade over the overnight highs? $147. Might as well just call it 150. Through that 157 is an old pivot high from yesterday in the afternoon. And right there, we've got anchored view up 20-day. Everything together right here. So going towards 57. Through this previous week high would take us to 20,167. It's in a squeeze mode here. Market's moving higher. Most of the market now green. Tesla now 5.12% up. Wow, I just had a look at that now. So coming into previous week high here. Still drifting higher. If you're in this, you look good. VIX drifting lower. Everything's saying higher prices right now. It can keep going higher. Remember, there are targets for it to aim for if it can base. All right, if we get above here and we base above IB, there are targets for it to trade into. This is where suppliers, this is where sellers came in yesterday. And this one here especially is where swing buyers got stuck. So if it really wants to price up here, it will. At that point, you should definitely be risk off. Definitely be risk off as we trade into that point. This is very bullish right now. Holding above the IB. Taking out all of Globex. into previous week high here, literally tapping on it. You cannot chase this long right now. All right, your entry long was all the way down here. You cannot chase this long. Maybe you took that. Do not be chasing up here. You're extended from IB, extended from flow zones, extended from structure. Cannot be getting long up here. You will get whacked and be very upset with yourself. Right? Get out the habit of chasing. So far, rejecting previous week high there of 168. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, this high right here, we've traded into a weekly level. Gladden, lovely. You got that long up there. Nice. Very nice work. Very, very nice work. Everything's starting to clean out here. So now we wait, right? We wait to see if they build structure out for a continuation higher up towards, what was the levels we said? 240, 250, and then 280, 300. Right? If they don't build the liquidity out, if this was the drive up to clean out the overnight highs and a trade back inside, it's going to become very obvious. They're going to start selling it. All right, and then we're going to look for something like this to go back down and like this for continuation here. These levels here are going to be key. That's your PDC. Decent volume traded at that previous week high so far. Like we said, shorts trapped. All right, the play today, we got short. What did we say? If it reclaims previous day low, this is excess and they're trapped. Why? Because breakout traders, breakout shorts came in here like we did, but they didn't cover. So they become buyers. Buyers squeeze. All right, breakout shorts right now and higher time frame longs are in higher time frame longs are in control. Breakout shorts are in trouble. That's the narrative right now. That's why these old lows are important. This green line was important. Failed under it, reclaimed it, upside. Daily levels, higher time frame levels. Stuck record, I know, but if you get zoomed into the 1 minute chart, and you don't understand the levels that you're trading off, you will get stuck. Learn to understand the key levels, right? Either do the course, links down below, one-time fee, or there are free lessons on my YouTube. I have a free lesson on key levels. Hardly anyone watches that, but I'm telling you, understand high time frame key levels. It's important. It's so, so important. Amount of traders that I see trading off a 1 minute chart. Oh, there's an order block here, and there's an inverse fair value gap here, and there's this here. It's like, I don't care, because there's no bank or institution giving two Fs about that, right? They're looking at the higher time frames. They haven't got the time to trade off 1 minute charts. They're trading off 15-minute charts, 1 hour charts, 4 hour charts, daily charts, weekly charts, monthly charts. That's what they care about. The reason we found a bid today, because it was a weekly level. Okay, driving back up here, back to previous week high again. In a liquidity building phase here at the moment, you can see it. Liquidity building. We're bullish with liquidity building in the higher time frame right now. Why are we building liquidity? Because we're between the higher time frame algo and the lower time frame algo. This is where the algorithms will build liquidity for the next move. Kaladin, daily goal reached. We'll go for a run before watching the rest of the live and replay and then study the course. Have a nice day. Hey, high five, man. Great work. Fantastic work. You deserve that. Studying hard, working hard, making the money, being disciplined, getting off the screens when you've made your daily goal. Everything I like to hear. Fantastic work. Mr. Slim with the W. Love it. Look at you guys making money. Look at you guys making money. Amazing what difference a day makes, hey? Like, those of you who were with me yesterday saw me on stream going on tilt. I talked about how I felt very tilty. I talked about the tech issues I was having. I tried to calm myself down. I waited, what, an hour maybe a bit less for that right shoulder, and we faded it, and I made all my money back. But I explained, smaller size, because I can feel myself on tilt. I need to be careful. And then come back the next day, you feel fresh, size down a little bit today, and everything working out. Right, got to remember in trading, there is always another trade ahead of you. Right, it doesn't have to be that session that day. You can wait the next day, the next week, the next month. Do not get drawn in when you have a bad day to being like, right, I'm going to press this button. I don't care. I'm going to self-sabotage now. I'm going all in. Don't do that. All right, don't do that. We've all done that once, twice, maybe more than once or twice. Don't get in the habit of doing that. Eradicate that habit from your life. Look at the difference in my calmness today to yesterday. That is the difference in tilt, because today Ninja is working properly. I'm not having error messages everywhere and freaking out. And that's the big difference, right? Nothing setting me off on edge. And I controlled my emotions enough to give myself the ability to trade again today. All right, so back testing a few key levels here on the spiders. That's why it's getting a bit of congestion here. Stops at 571.42s here if it really wants to get going on the spiders. And then the next level would be all the way up into 72.50. Got part of the upside still. Mad about missing that opening move, locking myself out before tilt. Hey, good decision. Good decision. If you can feel yourself annoyed because you missed something, try and ignore that sentence, like missing. You never miss anything, right? Market's constantly moving. Don't feel like you missed something. Just wait for the next setup. And obviously, if you're feeling a certain way and tilty, then get off the screen. It's a great decision. My learning from you has been to push Ninja into a VPS. Start treating it as a business. Yeah, that's it. You have to treat trading as a business. Had the same conversation with a buddy of mine yesterday. Have to treat it very, very seriously. How much money are you spending on it? How much time are you putting on the screens? Are you respecting it properly? You wouldn't turn up to whatever your other day job is, drunk or not feeling well or shouting and screaming at the computer in front of you because something's gone wrong. Like we can't do that. So we have to learn to be the same. Despite what you said, I took the short off the 15-minute opening range break strategy and got screwed on the move back up. Made it back on the move up, took profit when you said, so I'm ending the day green. Hey, Scott. Yeah, at least you got it back, eh? But yeah, don't overtrade it now. I always say if you've gone big red and you've managed to get flat or green, walk away. Walk away. It's one of the common things I see is traders who go red and they get back green, or they get back flat and they have the opportunity to take that trade off and walk away and start again, and they don't, and it goes back down again and they get very upset. Jay Magnus, I got to stop counter trending. Yeah, man, it's biggest problem traders have is looking for the counter trend plays. All right, literally that is the exact reason I designed the flow zones. The exact reason. We were in a sell this morning. They went blue and green. We go into a buy on the way up. You don't short this. You don't buy this, right? Bottom pickers take this. Why do we need to guess this bottom when we can take a long here? Why do we need to guess this top when we can let it break down and fail and take the short here? Get out the habit of picking tops and bottoms. Follow what this is telling you. It's literally why I designed it. It's like, the way I talk about it is like stabilizers. It's like stabilizers for people. And it makes me laugh. These traders are like, oh, EMAs are lagging. They're lagging. Can't follow an EMA. It's lagging. Yeah, it's lagging. You shouldn't be the first in the market trying to buy it. You should be waiting for that move, right? So if you're this guy, you're a flipping nutcase. You're going to get messed up and you don't know if this keeps rolling down on you. Yeah, so we don't mind something that's slightly lagging, This whole idea that you have to be absolute, precision in the market. I need to get the perfect entry, the best possible entry. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as a perfect entry and perfect exit. If you've got the perfect entry and perfect exit, you are absolutely lucky. Absolutely lucky. We have to remember that. Andrew, go in the Discord and update your flow zone indicators. Anyone who's not got this, go into the Discord and update the flow zone indicator to this one. I changed it yesterday in the course. I hadn't realized it hadn't updated mid through the course. It's definitely at the end of the course, but now it's updated. Scott Sullivan, I'm done. I'm just in the car listening now. Definitely going to explore the course. I've only been here 3 days and I'm loving what I'm hearing. Hey, Scott, I appreciate the support and the kind words. The course is there for you, as is the community, anytime you're ready. All right, so back into Globex here. We keep failing previous week high. Remember that weekly level I pointed out at 67. All right, 20,167. We cannot get a base above 20,167. It's a previous week high. Weekly traders are currently respecting it. Alex, thanks for teaching me patience and letting the trade come to you. Missing part. It's the missing part in my trading. Thank you, Sensei. Hey, you are welcome, Dre. Good work for you for putting the practice in and learning patience. Patience is the most important thing trading. It is the most important thing trading. It's probably the hardest thing to do, and it's the most important thing to do, all right? Because it's so easy to chase the market up here when we're extended from the flow zones, and it's so easy to, try and short the market down here before we've broken down and flipped the flow zones. But if you have patience and you just take it when the momentum's there, much easier trade, right? And now we don't take it extended. We want a back test to see if it's going to go, but we know low-hanging fruits have gone. 150 low-hanging fruit. What do we say? Once the low-hanging fruit has gone, Alex becomes way less interested in trading. This is why you're catching me talking far more right now. Initial balance now going to be key for the remainder of the day now, right? I'm going to delete this because this is Globex now. We don't need this. We've traded through it. Stops have been popped, right? Whether we hold this now for continuation, if we roll, we know that this is basically an island high on the day. This is a failure, breakout, failed auction, whatever you want to call it. If we start trading underneath IB, it's failure, right? And then we're coming back down to VWAPs, right? A very common trade, IB to VWAP. Only if we get under IB and get stuck, right? We're not trading that yet. It's not ready yet. We're still in upside momentum for now. I've sure done that red to green routine. Yeah, it's super common. Hey, we've all done it, Capped. I've used to do it all the time. Big red day, right? You manage to get back green somehow or get close to green, and you should just take that trade off at that point and walk away one up. Look at me yesterday, yeah? Big losing day to start. Tilt. Took it off. I was actually about just under 1R down. All right, when I took that off. So I was like, okay, I'm happy to lose that. That's okay. And I went away for what, I don't know, three and a bit hours and ended up getting most of them flat-ish. I think I had two. One was almost identically flat, one red, the others green, and one big green because I traded it towards the end by itself because I was worried that I was going to have issues. But that's another thing I do. If I've had a bad day and I see there's a setup, and I know I'm slightly on tilt, I'm like, right, I'm going to take trade copy it off because if I'm not seeing this cleanly, I don't want to risk 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts. I don't mind risking one account. If I get it wrong, I take another 1R. It's all about controlling your risk. The good thing about multiple accounts is it lets you control your risk. Still holding initial balance here. All right, folks, we're still holding initial balance. 5 minutes still looking bullish. Everything's still looking bullish here. Still stuck under previous week high. But if this is going to get going, it's got opportunities to trade up into these. All right, 240s and then 300s. Looking at the H1. If it's a failed breakout, where are we getting stuck right now? Maybe we trade into... There's also a little block here from the left, 190s, 170s to 1 to... Is that 220s, 222s? Yeah, I'm interested here. I'm interested in general if we're going to push and fail. Had a tilt day a week ago. It sucks. It still creeps in after 4 years. No better. Andrew, they will creep in. They will absolutely. It doesn't matter if you've been doing this 30, 40 years. I tell you what, I found my dad yesterday used to be a trader and just telling him about what had happened. And he laughed at me. He literally just laughed. And he was like, you think tech's bad? He was like, back in the day, I'd put a trade on and you'd phone your broker to put a trade on and they'd have to write the little slip, and they'd have to give that to someone in the office to place it. And that time took so long. There's no guarantee that they placed it at the limit that you wanted. And he was like, and half the time they're getting so many orders they forget to place it, and then you're really screaming down the phone. So he's like, it doesn't matter about whether it's technology, human bias, what it is. All these issues can happen. All these issues can happen. So everyone gets tilt. Doesn't matter how much of a veteran you are. I remember talking to a good friend of mine, Duncan. He trades his own book now. He was at Morgan, and before that, Standard Bank. He trades with literally millions and millions on the line every day. And I've heard him go on tilt and scream and shout. And, you know, I've known him since I was 19 years old. So almost 20 years. And he joined Morgan when he was 19 or 20 on placement. And after he graduated, he's been there been in the city ever since. So it still happens all the time. Perfect trade is if you would replay the same day, replicate the same trade, same time, same place, meaning you can state a reason after ever why you take it exactly. You want to trade the same patterns, same execution all the time. This is looking actually very good now. I've got caught talking when this was very, very nice here for that upside move. Trading it into here. All right, so if you're still long, this is where I'd be looking for. Trade into here right now, 240s. And if it can get going, 300s. 240s, and then sort of, I'd say 280s, 300s. I'm going to just check that on the 15 minutes because we get congestion here. There's wick to wick at 217s. I'll be watching 217s, 225s. Let's move this down a bit, make sure that's accurate. There we go. That kind of level there. Into there. That's going to extend into there. We've got an old wick low at 228 and an old wick high at 220. How we at there becomes important. Let's just think about a fib here. No, I did this earlier, but I just want to remind myself what these levels are. A 50% retracement will be into 236s, and the 618 will be all the way into 306, right? So that would be the extension. 236s and 300s. Same kind of levels. Lots of confluence right now. Not seeing my chart. Sorry. There you go. You keep talking, Alex, I'll keep making money. Yeah, I got caught monologuing. It happens. It's one of those things when you go between teaching, running the chat, and actually trading. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I'm up nicely. I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing at all. I'm just watching the book here. It's looking sort of thin. There's a sell up at 250 and a sell at 300, but it's not big size today. It is not big size on the book today. Not at all. So we're in an uptrend here. You can see lower time frame market conditions in an uptrend, higher time frame in liquidity build. They will move into bullish soon if we keep pumping. Every dip so far being bought. All right, so here was the start of it. There's your RBS. There's the shift, upside. This was the last buy, which I missed while talking. Everything looks good. Flow zone's holding. Like every dip into flow zone is holding, isn't it? Everything is bullish. No reason to go short right now. Short would be obvious. The short will be obvious. It will do something like, oh my gosh, it will do something like this and start rolling. Or it would be really nasty and it'll just do a dunk. Oh, dunk straight down, pull back in, and this for a bit. Right, no reason to be thinking about anything else right now other than how do I get involved long until it proves otherwise, because this low produced this high. This is your current range. There's your RBS. You'd be looking for this to hold for continuation. I don't like the buy anymore up here, not because I don't think it can go higher. It can certainly go higher, but my value is gone, right? When my target's here, we think about this RR, I don't actually love it. Doesn't mean you can't take it. Yeah, it's basically a 1-to-1, just over. not what I like. Oh, DK England, yes. RBS, resistance becomes support. SBR, support becomes resistance, right? Just very simple S&R. Most of the way I work off is a mixture between smart money concepts and more so Malaysian S&R. Very, very simple. They're all the same. They're all the same. It's just how you teach it. Same things. No worries, DK. Yeah, that's all the same stuff. It's just understanding. All support and resistances and supply and demand and flip blocks and all these things, order blocks, all these things, it's just where one person takes control, all right? If we had sellers in the market here, all right, and sellers in the market here, and sellers in the market here, here's their stop. We go back above those sellers down here, they become buyers, they stop out. We go back above these guys, they become buyers. Go back above these guys, they become buyers, all right? It's very simple principles. All right? Very simple. Stair step, stair step, stair step, stair step, stair step, stair step. Because buyers are in control and shorts are stuck. Let's have a quick look at the mag. We haven't talked about it for a minute. Tesla now almost 7% up. Nvidia flirting with its close price here, 0.14% up. Meta almost 0.5% up. Google about 0.5% down. Amazon 1.13% up. Microsoft just about green on the day, 0.10% up. Apple 0.38% up. So most of the market green right now other than Google. Tuesday was a reflection day for me. I got chopped up due to being impatient. Nothing worse than spending your birthday in the red and not being able to enjoy the day with the family, being patient now. Miguel, I'm really sorry that happened to you on your birthday. It's just a day. Just remember, it's just a day. All we're doing here, this is one big game, right? This is one big game that we're looking at here. We're not in control of this game, right? There's a big controller in control of this game. He's called the bank. Right? He's in control of the game. We're looking to learn what his signatures are. All right? We want to understand how bad is he at poker? Is he going to show us his hand? All right? And then do we have a good hand that we can play with him? That's kind of how you need to think of it. Don't worry too much if you had a bad day on your birthday. Life is more important. Spending time with loved ones and family is far, far, far more important. All right? Money will not define you as a person. Having a good day will not define you as a person. It actually means jack effing S, right? It means nothing. What will define you as a person is your resilience, your ability to pick yourself up off the floor when things are going bad, your ability to be kind to people, to be generous to people, to show compassion, to listen to people. That's what matters in life. No one cares if you're filthy rich and you're an absolute prick, right? No one cares. So don't worry about having a bad day trading. Worry about your loved ones. Worry about your mental health, your happiness, your family, your friends. Make sure you're doing this job as a career for a bit of additional income so that you have freedom, so you have time on the charts, right? So you can enjoy your time once you get off the charts with me and spend it with your wife, your boyfriend, your daughter, your best mate, however you see fit, that you get out in nature, that you go on holiday, that you do things in life that matters. Because if you don't do that, all right, if you spend, I don't know how old you lot are, but anywhere from 18 all the way up to 70, if you spend your whole life in front of these screens, you're going to wonder where your life's gone, because it goes like that. It goes in a flash. I turned 40 this year. I can remember my 18th birthday like it was yesterday. I can remember my 30th birthday like it was yesterday. I feel like I've had 3 careers in this life already, all right? Make sure you're enjoying yourself and being a good person. Don't worry about the money all the time. Slash Chi, thank you, Alex. I'm done for the day. Have a nice day. Hey, you too. You too, Slash Chi. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, I'm sure. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. It's so true, though. It's so, so true. Money doesn't mean anything, honestly. We need money, all right, to do things like pay bills, all right, to do things like have a bit of freedom. you know, to go on that holiday we want to go on, or, you know, just the basics, right? Greed is what will get us stuck. Greed is what will get us stuck. Happy belated birthday, Miguel. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. Happy belated birthday. CC, would I recommend a straight to funded? If you've proven yourself, yeah, if you've proven yourself as a good trader, if you know that you can take money out the markets, yes, number one. Number two, depends on what type of trader you are. The reason I say that is the straight to fundeds with Traderfy and also with TickTick. Traderfy is my preferred one. They have a 20% consistency rule. If you're the type of trader that takes a base hit, you know, like $500 a day every day, absolutely go for it. If you're the type of trader who, you know, likes to let a trade work a bit more, you could do the growth accounts. You know, you could do the growth accounts with Traderfy. They give you 35% consistency rule. All right. So that those days where you have slightly more of an outlier doesn't matter so much. Hopefully that helps. Peter will know what I'm talking about. Why is Peter over there? Why is young Peter over there? He's 65, still trading. I'd say what Peter is a calm voice in chat every single day. All right, watching this, still holding this RBS, this imbalance. All right, it's trying to do this kind of move up here. If it starts to fail here, I'd be concerned. All right, this is the level where you'd start seeing a rotation. But so far, it's still upside momentum. If you look at a 5 minute or anything like that, we're still looking pretty bullish here. Question is, can it get any further upside, or is this the end of it? You need to think about the levels that we broke out from. Basically, the initial balance, the old Globex levels. Does it hold these levels? All the time we're holding these levels down here. It has the ability for continuation. If we start returning in like this, then we're thinking about shorts. Until then, I'm not thinking about shorts. I'm not thinking about trying to short this when we're building flag liquidity versus an RBS for that drive up. Momentum's still upside, isn't it? Look at the pullback. There's your pullback. Look at the volume. Low volume. You're not seeing big sell volume coming to that pullback. The buyers are still in control for now. It can change. It can change very quickly. But for now, buyers are in control. Also thinking about this new H1 bar that we're in right now. I'm watching it hold the old anchor down here. Remember the new H1 came in here. So far holding. It can reprice all the way down to, let's just call it 150 if it's going to back test. Maybe I should put these levels in for you. Hang on. Maybe we should do this as something like this now. This was shorts pain. There we go. There we go. All right. You're still in continuation here. That's your channel. Yeah, continuation higher until it proves otherwise. Do I know if you can use Sierra chart with Traderfy? Try top step and rhythmic data is jamming up with things. Pullback freak. Does if Sierra chart allows you to use why can't I think what it's called? The data provider. Tradervate. Sorry, my mind went blank then. If Sierra chart allows you to use Tradervate, then yes, you will be able to use it. CQG or whatever they call it. Yeah, CQG. If it uses that data, then yeah, you can use it. There you go. Peter saying, loving life and making memories with my wife while our health lets us. Exactly, my friend. So back to the RBS level here. Notice the ES is getting stuck at that higher time frame algorithm. We got very, very close here as well. Look at this. Some smart guy back tested these and learnt about it. That's why we're in liquidity build. We're still stuck at that higher time frame algorithm right now. Starting to see a bit more sell volume step into the market. Look at this candle here, a bit more sell volume stepping in. So coming to back test that Globex level. You want to see if it holds this or not. If it starts letting go, I'd be very, very, very cautious here if we start letting go. Because this can be a failed breakout over Globex if it starts letting go of Globex and trading back inside. Morning, John. Peter saying spent the whole of last summer traveling to all the places. Starting to get heavy here, folks. I'm watching the ES. Be careful. To all the places me and my wife dreamed of going. And thanks for all the trading. All thanks to trading. Where did you go, Peter? Where did you go? What was your favorite spot you traveled to? Take care, Mr. Slim. So structure technically is still bullish, but we're starting to let go. This is a big level here and here. These are big levels here. If we start to roll under here, you know, it can be a failed breakout or a failure, failed auction. Until then, we're still thinking this move here. But if we start rolling here, you want to be careful. I had a sell stop that didn't work, and even though the trade is closed, the sell stop is still on the screen and can't delete it. On what platform is that? Maybe log into, if you're on Tradeovate, maybe log into Tradeovate and try and close it. I haven't seen any issues with that today, but that's sort of like what I was having yesterday. TradingView. Try logging into Tradeovate Direct. If you log into Tradeovate Direct, try that. And you can also right-click on TradingView, go reload tab. That might reload the data and you might be able to see it a bit better. So far, holding the old anchor view up. This is a sell view up, holding demand. Like we said, we're not in a sell unless it lets go of this. This is still the RBS. This is the higher time frame. So far, we've gone out. We've back tested it. We've held. We're still bullish unless it gets under here, remember. Things can change, but that's what we're looking at. ES getting stuck at its 5-day as well. All right, folks, ES stuck at its 5-day moving average right now. Q's not quite there. Pat saying it happens to him to log out of Tradeovate and then log back in. There you go. Peter Curry. Florence, Venice, Switzerland, Germany, Belgium. Venice was great for my wife, but her breath was taken away by the Swiss Alps. Oh, the Swiss Alps are incredible. I've done some of those. I haven't done Venice, actually. I've done Florence. I absolutely love Florence. I've done Switzerland and some of Germany, mainly in Berlin. And Hamburg I've also done. Belgium I've done. Most of these was when I was a touring DJ. So when I say I've done them, I'm there for 5 days or so. I'd love to go to Venice, though. Would absolutely love to see Venice. Everyone said the best time to go to Venice was during COVID because no one was there. So the canals were, pristine. No pollution, no litter. Yeah, probably won't be around too much longer, Venice? So would like to see it before it goes. She's an artist. Oh, amazing. As in a painter, Peter. Does she paint? What's everyone else's favorite place that they've ever been? Favorite vacation that they've took? What's your favorite place you've been to? I think it's so hard to choose. I think mine's probably Indonesia, probably like Thailand or Bali. I think probably Thailand pips it for me. Sri Lanka I went to for my honeymoon. Really enjoyed that. Brad D saying Lisbon. Brad D is one of my really good mates who's from Toronto, currently living in Lisbon. So it doesn't surprise me. Vietnam. Yeah, I really want to do Laos and Vietnam. Never done that, Logan. Crete was great. Yeah, Crete's cool. I've done quite a lot of Greece and Crete, Thessaloniki, most of the islands. The islands for me weren't so fun because I was a DJ playing to 18-year-old, well, probably more like 16-year-old kids drunk for the first time ever. Did not like Athens. I haven't done Athens. That's surprising. Philippines I've never done. I'd love to do the Philippines. Croatia, yeah, Croatia. I think I've done once, but didn't get to see much of it. Just there for a festival. Heading to Ireland in a month. Ireland's one of my favourite places in the world. I probably played more in Ireland than any other country. I absolutely love Ireland. Love the people, love the culture, love the greenery. Think it's beautiful. Absolutely love it. Singapore, yeah, I've been to Singapore as well. John Dennis, does that mean you're a frequent visitor to the towers? Do you know what I mean? 4 floors or something. Hey, Coop, we got to get you out of the US, my friends. Yeah, John Dennis knows exactly what I mean. Good fun, that spot. Really, really good fun, that spot. Oh, that's funny. Kat saying the opposite to Brad. He loved Lisbon, but he's living in Toronto. Bucket list: Australia, Greece, Croatia. Yeah, DK. I really liked Australia. I was there for like 3 weeks on tour back in the day, and I did Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Adelaide. And I've got to say, my favourite spots, people always laugh at me, were Brisbane and Adelaide. Way preferred it to Sydney and Melbourne. Everyone, all my Aussie mates that I have here, that I tell them that, they all laugh. They're mostly from Melbourne over here. I thought Brisbane was beautiful. I was there for Origins, if any of you know what Origins are. It's a rugby league game, biggest rugby league game in Australia, and it was awesome. Just the atmosphere was amazing. Everyone was eating al fresco on the street. They were really friendly. I thought Brisbane was beautiful on the river. Really enjoyed it. New Zealand, yeah, I've been to once. I was only there, I can't really comment. I loved it. I was there for 48 hours for a show. I was in... where was I? Canterbury. I think that was it. Yeah, I was only there 48 hours, but lovely people. Yeah, Lisbon's cool. I had my stag do in Lisbon. I had a great time. All right, so back into that RBS level, back into that anchor VWAP level, starting to build liquidity out here, isn't it? It's starting to look a little bit iffy here now. We've repriced quite a lot. We've repriced over. If we start getting acceptance underneath here, it's going to be dangerous. All these balls are going to get stuck. Right, there's your initial balance and your close. If we reprice under here, they're going to get stuck. So I'd be a bit concerned right now if I was a bull. It doesn't mean it can't go higher, but it's not looking too good. That peak over previous week high, that wash of all the stops, that trade back down, if they can't hold this blue box, an initial balance high, it's going to be a problem for them. All right, remember the longs today were probably counter trend, unless bulls really want to take over and do that drive towards 300. New Zealand's where you can get a ski in the morning and get to the beach in the afternoon. It's true. I can actually do that where I am. I never thought that was possible, but in Los Angeles, I have skied and surfed in the same day where I am. Pretty cool. Aaron and Taylor, there's a secret little spot deep in the forest near where I live that pretty much no one knows exists. It has a small creek and valley surrounded by pines. That's my favorite place. That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. All right, so market's still basing out here. You are still technically bullish. All right, remember, this low created this high. This is your RBS. All right, this is where you broke out from. All right, look at all these stops. All right, resistance, 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 resistance. If it becomes support, it goes for the next level up. If they let go of that, then the buyers above them get trapped. That simple. I'm not thinking short unless it lets go of that. If it's going to hold it, create some sort of flag or W here and go, this is the level and this is the level that you should be looking at for that drive up towards. Right, if it can keep holding it, this is where it wants to go and this is where it wants to go. If it fails back inside the initial balance, you've got to trade back down to VWAP and maybe to the New York Open. But right now, market's looking pretty good. Having a look across the board right now, Tesla 5.5% up. Meta 0.19% up, Amazon 1% up, Microsoft 0.25%, Apple 0.2%, Nvidia about 0.25% down, and Google 0.5% down. So Nvidia and Google, the weak ones in the mag so far. Ever been to Japan? I haven't. I haven't been to Japan. I would love to go. My sister-in-law went, had a great time. A couple of friends of mine went this year, had a great time, but I've never been. Never been. I've done China. Didn't love China, I'm going to be honest. I did Shanghai. We played an underground rave in Shanghai, and the promoter, a guy called Spencer Tarring, forgot to pay off the triads, and I got maybe my third song in before they came and shut the place down. Which was interesting, to say the least. LA surfing, Huntington Beach, skiing, Big Bear. Well, the closest place to ski is, well, Mount High, or there's one even closer. I forget what it's called. It's like a little kitsch town. What is it called? Baldy. Mount Baldy. I can get to there, if I go early, I can get to there in like 50 minutes. And then you can just ski in anywhere really, Sunset or El Segundo. Surf, sorry, in El Segundo, probably the easiest one to do, which is what we did that day. TR, yeah. You gotta make it obvious. You gotta make sure they know what it is. That's how it works in America. Mount High. It's a mountain that's high. Yeah, Baldy. You've been to Baldy, yeah. It's a cool. I quite like Baldy. It's cool. Like, you can get around quickly. It's only small, isn't it? All right, back to this same key level. You want to be careful here. If they start letting go of it, you want to be very, very careful if they start letting go of this. Back to that old support, old resistance that they're trying to turn into support. If they start letting go of this, they can melt it. Can absolutely melt it here. All the way back down to initial balance and then to VWAP if they really want to do it. Valley low, yeah. Yeah, Big Bear. Big Bear, and then what was the other one I said? There's another one that was quite close, smaller than Big Bear, which is quite good fun, actually. It's got quite a good park in it. I haven't been for a couple of seasons. I forgot I wasn't young anymore, and last time I went with a few friends, and I hit the park right at the end of the day. I've been hitting it all day, but I hit it right at the end of the day, and I fell off the like the edge of the box right onto my back, and it was painful. I think that put me off for a while. Not a kid anymore snowboarding. So far, still holding this level, isn't it? This blue box, you can see it's holding that blue box. It's holding the deep flow zone pullbacks. You've got 40 minutes left into lunch. It's holding that anchored view up. Remember, this red line is your anchored view up off the sell we had yesterday. That's why it's there. If we start rotating, though, watch out. If they start letting go of the mag, watch out. Yeah, it does, the VIX. It sort of dunked a bit this morning, didn't it? Let go of a bit, and it's just stuck at that 18. And it can't trade back. If VIX reclaims PDC like 1833, I think there's more pressure on the market. But so far, it's basically done. I mean, I haven't measured it, but pretty much 50% pullback into that level yesterday, 1792.18, basically. It's trying to catch a bid here on the VIX to drive back up to that PDC. And if it reclaims PDC, I think the market struggles. If it can't reclaim PDC, then I think we keep moving upside. Time to call it a day. See you tomorrow, says Peter. Yeah, see you tomorrow, mate. Have a good one. Market just feels like it's gone to a standstill. It's about 50 points up here, though. Feels like nothing, but it's about 50 points of just gently walking it down. I just don't like the short until it proves. This is easy to sweep, even if it wants to come down and do that move as well. So just don't like this setup for me personally right now, even though we're at a good level. I want to see it prove itself. I want to see some volume come back in the market. I want to see some participants show their hand on what they want to do, either up or down. I don't care which. I just want someone to come and show me. I don't want to be the first one to join here. Hey, we made it to 100 likes today. Happy days. Happy days. Back and forth here. They start to try and decide what they want to do. You've got 35 minutes left into lunch. Looking at the hourly, it looks pretty good. The hourly right now looks pretty good, doesn't it? If we want to take a peek at this, there's your sort of W with a wash underneath. There's your push up and the hold, right? All the time they can hold this, that's the drive. Failure inside here. Why don't we like that failure inside? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, wash. All right, those are the two options. I'm telling you this now because if it doesn't do anything before lunch, these are the plays setting up for after lunch or during lunch. Any of you that like trading those periods, I'm trying to set you up so you understand what you're looking for. You're bullish until it proves otherwise right now. We've broken out. We're basing above. All the time we're basing above that blue line and IB height, there is potential to go higher. It's just slowed right down here, though. Really has slowed down. Sort of came to the edge of volume as well. Look at that high time frame. If you think about this high here we set is where this volume is. After that, it gets thin, doesn't it? So they've protected it. Which makes me think this won't hold. If we come into this, that probably won't hold. It'll probably trade straight up into here, into 80s, 280s. Makes me think this, I might do this very light, because I don't think this is going to be a big level based on volume. Could be wrong, but doesn't look strong on volume, and they're protecting it based on volume. So really what they're telling me is 200 your key level, break over 200, then I think we see that move up into 280s, 300s. So there's another 100 points up for grabs upside if they let it through. But right now, it's just trading sideways. Anything else you want to go over while we wait? I will join this. I don't mind joining this long if it proves. I don't mind joining it short if it proves. I'm not going to be first into the market here. It needs a good upside. If I'm going to join this upside, I want to see big bullish move upside and a pullback that holds. I want to see momentum come back in, big bullish move, pullback, hold, and then we think partial one, maybe partial two, but mainly up into here. If it can't do that, I'm not interested in joining the long. Because the more we're here without doing it, the more volume that's getting trapped here. You can see we keep rejecting this level. This is the level right here. They roll this, that's your neckline. They come under this, that's the VWAP move. That's your IB rotation move. Everyone understand? Probably not, hopefully. Hopefully some of you do. Definitely those who've done the course understand. Triangle on the 1 minute. You mean this? Yeah, it is, but it can also be this right now. And this is the key part. So we need to see it break and hold for us to think about that. Like I said, this here, this is the key level. Why is that the key level? Think about this imbalance here. It's where buyers came in. We came back down. We had the chance to absorb. We didn't. We broke underneath. That's the level. You can see this is old support, resistance, 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 and this is the swing low. So in here can bounce around for a bit. So I'm not really interested yet, either side. I'm waiting for it to prove. I'm being a sniper in the market. It has to prove to me. Has to prove to me. Don't want to short into demand, into an RBS. We don't want to short into RBS, remember. Cost of the course, DK. The course is $649, one-time fee. It's a 20-hour course, 40 modules, and you also get the flow zones, these right here. And on top of that, you get lifetime membership to the Discord. Yep, so all one-time fee. No monthly subs or anything like that. One-time fee. You can see reviews on Trustpilot, or I'm sure lots of people in this room will tell you the benefits of doing the course. Most people trading with me in YouTube right now have done the course. All right, starting to see a little bit more selling volume try and creep in here. These are big levels here. Big levels here. It does, yeah. The flows, definitely the 1 minutes are trying to go, but remember the deep pullback flow zones are still here. The bigger drive comes when you get the flow zones cross the deep pullbacks and you get multi-time frame short, especially underneath IB. Remember, IB is key for this play today. Initial balance can hold for drive higher. Underneath IB and the neckline, we go back to VWAP. We don't want to be too biased too quickly. But trade your way. Trade your way. If you're comfortable taking this, by all means take it. So far, I would definitely say this level here is acting as resistance. We keep selling versus that level. This is starting to look like a rollover. Initial balance level will be key here, without a doubt. Into that deep pullback flow zone here. Liquidity on the book underneath 100 right now. There is liquidity underneath 100 right now. Which makes sense, doesn't it? When we look here, where did we break out from? Might want to revisit that. There's the break. So back to IB here. If they melt this, let me go lower. In this now, very small size, joined on that last melt from when it let go of the deep pullback. This break, liquidation break here, small size. It's the neckline, starting to let go of that neckline. Stop already in the money. Watching the initial balance here, there you go, starting to let go. You must be taking a partial into this 100 zone. Think about this as your RBS, right? Where did we break out from? Here. Now buyers are trapped up here. Here's a failed auction. Where are we trading back to? Stop 1 and then stop 2. As in TP1, TP2. VWAP down here is where it would love to go to VWAP if it can get going. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Happening very quick because buyers are now trapped. This is why we wait. We wait, and then we attack. Okay, let's see if they reject this now. You'd want to see IB, maybe 130, maybe 140 reject. Somewhere around there. You want this drive up to reject. If it doesn't reject, okay, it can be a trap. So you want to see any push here start to be sold into. What's the time? Half an hour. Because this is the key level, isn't it? Where's the RBS? Where did buyers step in? All right, so you need this to come up and reject for a retest of that low. New sub, AMC 087. Welcome. Welcome, AMC 087. Can I recommend Apex? Yes, absolutely. I can recommend Apex. Just make sure you understand the rules. So I trade with Apex. Take your time with Apex. Lots of my students trade with Apex. Take your time with Apex. Get through the trailing drawdown. Build the buffer. Don't oversize. Make sure you're using an account size that works for you. If you're using a 50K account, you do not need to be trading minis. You can trade micros. Spread it out. $200, $300 a day is all you need to do. Right, do that for 10 days, take some money. Do it for 10 days or 8 days now, take some money. So watching all of these now, everything's into a big level here. It is decision time for this market right here. Okay, this is decision time for this market. It's trying to drift lower here. Still in small size here, looking for more action down. Here's the downside, looking for VWAP. If it's going to let me trade to VWAP, that's what I'd like to see. Taking partials into these levels, like we said, into around 100, there's an RBS level here. Right, you can see it here. This is where shorts got stuck. Right, so if no short covered, if they're really stupid and didn't cover, this is their chance to get break even. If we fade under this and we go sideways here, what do we get? Where do we go? Right, VWAP, IB low. Still possible. You'd need to see the whole market melt if it was going to do that. It is possible. Nice, John. John locking in $1,500 there. Lovely work. Still in this short. Still looking for this to melt. Covered most of this now. Here we go. Here comes previous day close. So sorry, point of control here. Into that RBS level. If they let go of this, we're looking for VWAPs, remember. We're looking for a trade down. IB high to VWAP is possible here. 77s, but we're taking some off here because we're being proactive. All right, we're being proactive by looking left. Don't hold and hope. We're looking left. We're respecting where buyers stepped in earlier, where shorts got trapped earlier. We respect those levels. Remember, this is a pretty big flush down of this move. I only joined in here once we started letting go. This is a decent size move down here already. And we got like 80, 90 points this morning. Some of you got the long back up. Now we're getting the short back down. Come on, let's go to VWAP, baby. See if we can do it. We want the WAP. We want the VWAP. Come on, baby. PDC here on ES. So everything lining up here. Make sure you've paid yourself a little bit of money here, folks. Nvidia red, Meta red, Google red. Google with a bit of a stronger sell here. I don't remember that being 1.15% down last time I looked. Tesla giving back a little bit, still 5% up. All right, so finding bids here on that PDC, on that POC. God, I can't talk. On the POC and on this level here. Okay, so we might want to rebalance some of these 5 minutes that we've just drifted down from. Might want to push back up and then see if it forms a lower high. We want to push back up. Does it form a lower high? If it reclaims this, all shorts are off the table, because then you have this move again for the liquidity. This will then be a trap. So far, we're looking for shorts. We're looking for a drive higher to short into. What's the time? We've got 25 minutes left till lunch. There we go. Let's go, baby. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. We want VWAP here. See that old point of control? Definitely an area here. All this volume from this morning and today and yesterday. Same level, same level, same level, same level, same level. It's a big level, same level, same level, same level, same level. You get the point. It's a huge, huge level is what I'm trying to tell you. Huge, huge level. I covered a bit more into that last move down because we didn't break the low here. Still got a little bit left. I want to see that snap back down. We're looking good. ES into PDC. ES is still holding PDC. Remember, if it holds PDC, it's still an inside bar for upside. Or if it trades above it, I should say, basically. But let's go with that. We've got expansion lower. Back towards previous day low. Looking good, folks. We're looking good. Anyone in this with me short? Anyone make some money here already? Here we go. Give me the WAP. I want the WAP. Give me the WAP. Give me the WAP. Give me the WAP. Let's go. Come on, baby. You can do it. Get to the WAP. I'm looking for this move down into here, ideally. All right, that would give me that IB rotation play that I love. I love this play here, but remember, I've locked some in here. I'm respecting the structure. I've locked some in here. Got to be very, very careful. Again, if it builds straight down like this, you want to be careful. It might take that before it comes back down. Look at you guys. Same people every time making money. Love it. JD Florida man with the win. Alan with the win. Steve C with the win. Myron with the win. What's that? 2 for 2 for me today. Most of you are 3 for 3. I'm 2 for 2. Stayed with the short side today. Some of you took that long. It was a beautiful long. Probably the best trade of the day if you took that long, to be honest. Coop with the W, Christy W, Andrew G with the W. Hey, we shoot, we score. Lee Kim with the W. I love it, team. I love it. It was all about being patient, wasn't it? Joining when the momentum came in. Look how clear it is. Once it starts letting go here, look at these bars. Big bars. We join these bars for the move down on the sell signal. Boom. We get the sell, and we look for continuation now. We don't join in all this, right? I know you can say, I could have got a better price here. You could have also got wrecked, right? Like we said. We join the party when it's ready. Let's go. We're almost there, team. Almost there. Come on, baby. Give me that VWAP. Come on, baby. Hey! There he goes. Thanks very much. Thanks for playing the initial balance game with Flowzone Trader. Beautiful failed auction above the initial balance. Exactly what we were looking for. Go to the lesson or go to the pre-market analysis I did today. If we can get a failed auction above Asia London, I like the idea of a short and rotation. We talked about it pre-market. All of this was planned out. Everything we've just traded today was planned out pre-market. We're not deviating from plans here. Logan, my first day trading with you, 1 for 1. Hey, I love it. Lyndall, love it. Look at you guys. John Dennis, love it. This is why you got to have a plan pre-market. And plans pre-market come from two things. They come from understanding what's in front of you on the chart and having a model to trade it, right? I have a very specific model to trade these things. We have trend day models. We have rotation day models. We have initial balance expansion models. We have initial balance rotation models. We are in an initial balance rotation model after sweeping liquidity. That is A+. That is an A+ scenario, folks. If you don't understand, please do yourself a favor. Do my course. It will make sense to you. It will really help you. I'm not trying to push it on you or sell it to you. Do my free lessons on YouTube first. Make sure you enjoy how I teach. But if you want to understand these plays and why they work, just do the course. It's one-time fee. It's going to save you so much BS of other rooms teaching you absolute nonsense. There's a reason we've caught all these today. There's a reason we have a very high win rate on stream. It's because we have set models. You've got to have models. You've got to have a way of getting in and out the market. You cannot be guessing. You need to understand your model, your way of getting in and out of the market. Malabi with the win. Yeah, I love it, team. We should all be winning today. I haven't called one bad trade here today. This has been another solid day. And like I said, look at the difference today makes. Yesterday, on tilt, having problems with Ninja, stressed out, screaming, pissed off, all those things. Come back the next day, and it's a different ball game. That's why we play for the next day. Hey, this is melting now. Back down into that gap now. Grey box. Previous day low. You should have covered like 80, 90% of your trade here. If it's going to set up for, a complete wash back down, remember IB lows all the way down here. If it's going to set up for that, we will rejoin. All right, what would we need for that? We'd need some structure to be built out. Right, we'd need some structure to be built out here. We're probably going to run out of time because of lunch, and then we'd be looking for this level here, previous day low, New York, and then back down to IB low. What would that be? Huge move back down. What are we in? What do we talk about? Discord. Guys in Discord, what do we talk about? We are boxed in. We're looking for failed breakouts. Failed breakout. Whoop. Failed breakout. Whoop. When don't we take breakouts? When we're boxed in. All right. Don't take the breakouts when we're boxed in. Has to prove to us. Probably not going to get another trade here, folks, before lunch. Like maybe we do. Maybe we get lucky. But we've hit main targets there. Any questions? Any questions? Just do yourself a favor and do the course, right? Honestly, just like there is not a better course out there. And I'm telling you now, I'm going to add to the course, refine the course, and those prices are going to keep going up. Not because I'm greedy, because I'm starting to realize that there are courses out there which are absolute shite. And I'm giving a lot of value, especially if we're going to start thinking about like the Ninja Trader indicators and stuff like that as well. John, I mean, there's quite a lot of Malaysian SNR in that course. I have thought about doing one specific for it, but like a lot of it is in there. Understanding the open, high, low, close is basically Malaysian SNR. That and trend lines. I could do a whole course on it. I guess I could do a separate course on that as an addition. Maybe I'll think about doing that. Yeah, Clint, go Ninja Trader indicator. Can't wait. Me too, mate. I reckon it will speed up the process as well, because it will mean we can have like a lot less indicators in Ninja Trader. Just one reliable one. Touch wood. As long as this designer or coder, I should say, does a good job, because the last two haven't. leaking money with these coders so far the last 9 months plus, or even longer, because I've had lots of guys try and do the algo as well and fail miserably. This guy seems good, and he's English as well, so it's a little bit easier to deal with. All right, still melting here. Coming back down towards that gap. Still melting here underneath VWAP right now, underneath both these VWAPs. ES had its VWAP, SPY its VWAP, QQQ at its VWAP. I think I was talking to Coop earlier. Coop, look at the VIX, reclaimed PDC, trading back into a resistance level now. All right, so that flush came with everything in confluence. 15 odd minutes left with you all on stream here. Don't get short in the hole here. Remember, look left, look at liquidity. We need to build out some liquidity. You want to build out a right shoulder or a bear flag for continuation if you're thinking about lower prices. We can go into a rotational day. This can go back up to IB if it wants. All right, we are in rotation. Look left. All right, look left. We are just in rotation. I'll make it easier for you. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. Look at this chart here. All right, this is yesterday. Failure, 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 print back up, failure, print back up, failure, sweep, sweep. Here's your box. Yeah, understand what type of market you're in. We're not in a trending market. If anything, we're in a trend down market with the ability to produce a higher low here on the higher time frames. So just be careful. Understand the market conditions. We are inside the initial balance. We are technically outside day, but not really until we're underneath previous day low. Technically inside day until we're outside day underneath this. Here we're outside day. But remember, shorts got stuck down here this morning. Looks like they're going to run these lows here at some point. Not necessarily lows of day, but these lows here. 49s, basically 50s and 29s. So 50s and 30s. I can, but it just looks choppy. This is always on a 1 minute here. When you're looking at this chart here is always a 1 minute. 1, maximum 2. This is always lower time frame. This one here. And this first one's always lower time frame. When I go to these ones, this is always a 5 minute. This is always a 1 hour. Every pot being sold into so far, you can see it can't do anything right now. What the? There we go. Whole screen blacked out there. I think it was a loose cable at the back. All right, there's the wash back into the gap. You're back into the gap here. Previous day low, the green line, previous day low. ES starting to really melt versus that VWAP now. All right, and they just washed that first set of stops. 50s, remember the next ones is 30s or 25s. So you just washed 50s. Remember, this is where buyers took control early. You don't want to be adding new short positions here. Ideally, it builds structure out upside before washing lower. You're in a straight down here. Think about this channel. You're straight down. Right? You want to see this before we go lower. Otherwise, you're in a runner from here or here where I was entering and looking for that move. But I covered all mine at VWAP. VWAP was the play for me. That's what I was looking for. That was a target. So I took it off there. No worries, dude. Excited for the Grand Prix now. Yuki Tsunoda getting his chance. Let's go. God, Liam Lawson has had an absolute nightmare, hasn't he? Flipping the bird last year, I think, was like the start of the end for him. It was like ultimate arrogance that kind of caught up with him kind of thing, if that makes sense. Dre the Trader, testimony. I was down $200 in my take profit account trading drawdown. I started following Alex and I'm getting a payout tomorrow. Hey, let's go. Let's go, buddy. Those daily payouts on take profit. Beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful things. Are they going to melt it under PDL here? And do we go to New York Open? Do we go all the way back down to the IB low? It's very, very possible here if they want to get weak. But the biggest problem is the time. Biggest problem here is the time. Protecting that gap for now. Grey box, top of that gap. We said it needs structure to be built out to think about. If you're thinking about adding in for a new position, it needs a bit of structure here. Lacks structure, in my opinion. Next low hanging fruit, yeah, kind of those 27s, that kind of level. Keeps tapping into previous day low and finding a bid. You can see just in front of it, the green line, it keeps finding a bid there. Sorry, struggling to get my words out here. VIX really starting to push here now. Yeah, still weak. So protecting previous day low after sweeping that internal. You got to think they're going to take this lower. It's just they need to build out that liquidity to do it. Watching ES back to VWAP. Back to VWAP. Come on, mate. What is wrong with your words? Probably hungry here. The man needs to eat. The man needs to eat. All right, so back to VWAP here. Across the board. Can drift higher if it wants. Remember, it's internal range inside the initial balance. Can easily drift higher, fill in some inefficiencies if it really, really needs to. There are liquidity levels above it can aim for on a pump higher. Remember, looking left, something into like 100s will be key. If it starts reclaiming the IB, I don't like any shorts for the afternoon session at that point, or at least not for that moment. Watching the hourly bars here. Yeah, back to point of control as well. You got to think they're going to send this lower in the afternoon, but try not to be too biased on that because we're just mid-range. But if the next drive up gets sold into hard, then you've got to imagine that they're going to be looking for a sell. If they start reclaiming that blue box and the IB, then no, we're going to drift higher. It's just this will be the back test of the level, and they can create more liquidity up top. My stomach is rumbling. I just got real hungry real quick. ES back to view up here. Just peeked through it. SPY starting to sell a little bit there. Look at that sell. That's heavy, heavy, heavy. Heavy volume coming in here. See if they catch this or not. This is important. On that imbalance where they last printed. Yeah, exactly, Caladin. That's exactly it. That's exactly what we're looking at. And they just caught that there as well, though. So see if it builds out liquidity here somewhere. If it reclaims this, though, it's no good. But if they're going to do this kind of look here, there might be that move down. But we're in internal range. There's your initial balance. We're in internal range right now. Got to think if they're going to do it, they're going to move for that sort of 930 print. Yes, looking a bit weaker. VIX trading back inside a little bit. Not exactly what you would want to see. You'd want to see VIX start expanding back upside again. Maybe a little pullback here on the VIX and see what it does. This is definitely an area, remember, where buyers came in earlier. So you have to respect that. That's why we've covered our position into VWAP. If you're going to do a new position, it's got to build out for you. Yeah, still under VWAP. SPY still under its VWAP. QQQ there or thereabouts. I'd say if Microsoft starts letting go here, helps drag the market down, maybe you get that move this afternoon. Apple with the relative strength there. Apple and Amazon relative strength. Tesla very, very strong. 4.48% up. 4.5% up on the day, basically. Very, very strong. Remember, we're in a rotational market. Understand what type of market we're on. We just went through this. You're boxed in. You've had a fail breakout both sides. You're basically midpoint of the box right now. We want to see if this will build out liquidity for that sort of move further down for the remainder of the day. It will come with time, Calypso. It would just come with experience and being in the market and letting it work, and sizing correctly so that you're willing to let it work will help a lot as well. You might get a sweep here back towards 90s or 100 like we were talking about. You might want to pop some of these guys out first before it goes lower. It doesn't have to go lower, remember. It does not have to go lower here. I want to see if the VIX can catch a bid. Where's the biggest seller in the market? 250, 442 lot up at 250, mate. That was that big level we were looking at earlier. Up here. Thin volume up there to look to get filled there. All right, they're trying to build this out. They are trying to build this out through breakdown here. ES looking weaker of the two right now, looking good. VIX looking better now. I want to see VIX, this 5-minute flag on VIX really expand higher. Don't want it to mess around here. You want to see that VIX flag expand higher. Don't want to see consolidation. Yeah, I use Bookmap DK. Down here. It's on my screen down here. Yeah, JD, there actually is, and it's holding that imbalance. But if it lets go of that imbalance on that M1 that you're looking at, then that's what will cause the flush lower. And it's protecting previous day low. Once we get under previous day low, keep rejecting view up underneath that green line into that grey box. I think we can trade lower for the day. It's just building out liquidity here. It's ifs and buts right now. My stomach is growling. Sorry about that, team, if you can hear that. I'm so hungry right now. How long we got till lunch? 3 minutes until I go and feed myself. New hourly bar, remember, coming in 3 minutes. Just be careful. If you're still in this with runners, make sure you're protecting some of your profits. You do not want an hourly candle to open up and go upside and you not have a stop in. Not suggesting it does that. It should really go downside, but better off being precautionary. Here we go. Starting to break down here. Can we get through previous day low? That's the question for me. Can we get through previous day low? I want to see it really start dumping here aggressively. Get through previous day low. Wash out all these wicks that we've got at those lows right now. Tapping on it. VIX looking good. Want to see VIX break out here. ES let go of the low. Then we're going to start trading lower. Come on, get through the lows here. It got so close. I think it did an internal sweep, tap previous day low. Just want to see it. Just one big swipe down. One big swipe down. Is it just going to take the internal and not do it? That would be a pain if it does that. One big swipe down and then maybe a trade into 930 kind of level would be really nice. There's buys down at 20,000 flat right now. Come on. You're there. You're there. There you go. Stay heavy, though. Don't trade back upside. Stay heavy. Did he sweep it? It got close. There's a new hourly bar. Liquidity injection coming. Just be careful here. If you're in this short, be careful. Move your stop. Make sure you're protecting some of your profits. Bang. Bang. Lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Had to wait for it. Had to wait for it. Would have preferred it to come up a bit higher, but once that bear flag set, there we go. It's TP1. Anything now is runners, but you're into lunch. I'm not holding this into lunch. I'm gonzo, man. I'm gonzo. So entry was here, especially once we started flushing. Add here, a little bit of a cover. Main cover here, repriced in, waited. Failure through this, out. Job done. Like I said, I think, who was it that called? The imbalance. An imbalance is basically a big engulfing candle. Sorry, JD. What some people would call a fair value gap or whatever. So when we have an imbalance, it's because we move quick away from something. All right, so here, left an imbalance just on a short time frame. All right, so down here, basically shorts got stuck and they covered in front of PDL and we go straight upside. This encourages bulls. Bulls chase when they see a candle like this. So once we trade back through that, we're likely to go and sweep out everything down below. Okie dokie, team. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I've hit my targets there. I'm done. It's lunchtime. That was beautiful trade. Added into the winner there. Well, got a little bit extra from it. Sort of, JD. I mean, they would call it fair value gaps. If you were to use... sorry. If you were to use like order flow charts and things like that, you would actually see the imbalance. All right, imbalances is where there's low volume. But yes, ICT traders would call it that, would call it a fair value gap. I mean, these have been around forever. Malaysian traders would call it an engulfer. There's lots of different... It's just horses for courses and how you explain it. Yeah. I think you look good here for lower prices now. Now that it's done what we looked at, right, beginning of the day, what did we want? Failed breakout above Globex. Bang. There's the failed breakout. There's the fail. Here's the liquidity build. What are we open for now? Here. All right, so if we reject any rejection up here, any way of rolling over to here, we run these stops. If we run these stops, where do we go? Hello. Right? This can get real nasty real quick. If they trap bulls... Right, if they trap bulls here and here, they all get liquidated. This is where we go. But I'm done. I really don't need more than that for my day. That's a really nice day. And after a day like I had yesterday, it's nice to just be done a bit earlier and have a bit more, what do you call, like mental space from the screens. You're welcome, JD. All right, team. Last chance to ask any questions, and then I'm going to shut this down, everyone. Last chance. Don't forget, those of you who are interested, I keep forgetting to say it, but they did just change their sale, Traderify. So it's now 35% off all accounts. All right, advanced, growth, and straight to funding. So an extra 5% off. That runs until the end of the month. Use code FCT. The link is down below if you're interested. All right, the link's down below. Other than that, folks, I'm off ski. Those in Discord, I will pop in later. You know the plans. We went through it pre-market. Everything's starting to play out. Be patient. You should have made some good money. Ask yourself, if you've made good money today, do you need to be sitting here through lunch or the rest of the day? Set price alerts. Yeah, set price alerts at those key levels. Maybe it's IB high, IB low. Maybe it's 50% retracement. Whatever your setup you're looking at, set the price alerts, walk away, let it work out, come back to the screen if your price alert goes off. All right, save yourself the hassle of sitting here all day being addicted to the screens. Remember what we said earlier. We trade for freedom. All right, not just finances. It's also your time. All right. Big love, everyone. Please make sure you use hard stops. Okay, I know I say it every single day. We are in a market which can be very, very volatile. It's quieting down the last few days. All right, definitely the range has tightened up. It's quieting down. It will not take much to spook this market. All right, you get another piece of news on the car tariffs. Maybe he rolls back some of the tariffs. Anything like that, they're going to price it in quick. All right. Have a hard stop in. If you're green on the day and you're going to continue to trade, make sure you've got a mental point in your mind where you're like, I'm not giving back more than this much. Don't let a nice green day go red. Okay. And then we're going to close out the week and the month and the quarter tomorrow. We're going to close it out strong. All right. High five, everyone in chat. Love you all. Thanks for turning up. See you tomorrow morning.